Welcome to Adrift in Aldhalor, our weekly actual play D&D show set in our homebrew world of Aradun. Our music is licensed through Musicbed.com, and we share it with each other through Bardly.io. And occasionally we use some Ambience in some of our shows, not particularly this one, but occasionally in others, through Syrinscape and TabletopAudio. None sponsors, but all great tools that you can use for your own content and or home games. Check them out. I'm gonna bring a person in.
Which person?
Shannon.
That's me.
What's up,
home.
Shannon? You're back.
I'm back. I missed you all dearly while I was away.
Yes, they missed you so much last week that they almost let your character die.
Yeah, I heard.
No, we didn't let her character die. We tried very, very hard to have her die, and it didn't work.
It's true.
Okay.
It's true.
Yeah. So happy
No. Although there was a moment where
I also heard that it looked bleak. But we're good. Everybody is currently still alive. But before we get into all that, I'm going to tell you about our partners. Starting with Arcane Spectacles. Enhance your TTRPG and D&D games with Arcane Spectacles dice sets made in collaboration with Die Hard Dice. With a variety of set colors, you can elevate your gaming experience to your liking. Don't settle for ordinary dice when you can have top quality sets from Arcane Spectacles and Die Hard Dice. Roll the dice and upgrade your gaming gear today. Visit them at arcanespectacles.com. Next, we have Underground Oracle Publishing. They are a best-selling Emmy-nominated TTRPG publisher, building new and exciting settings for the cipher system of every genre that you can imagine. Each setting includes everything you need to explore its unique world, including lore, species, descriptors, foci, creatures, ciphers, artifacts, and all of the rules that you need to play. For as little as $3, you can join their Patreon and help shape the worlds that they create. Next up, we have Eddie Yorke. He is our character artist. He's an illustrator based in the UK who makes art for games and books. I believe he's currently making some art for a game called Apocalypsis. So go check that out. Posts a lot on Instagram, so go follow him there. Also, to visit his portfolio and get in contact with him, visit eyork.com. Michael, start Audacity if you have not already. 1985 Games is our last partner here. They create affordable, accessible, high-quality accessories for D&D and other tabletop role-playing games. Sean uses their NPC cards, and I think it's safe to say that there is something that every DM could pull from those cards to make their own unique characters for their game. So if you'd like to purchase those or any of their amazing products, use the code paradiceprod for 10% off the entire order. Join us on Discord if you have not already. We've got recaps that will be up to date eventually. VODs also will be up to date eventually. And you could also join us in Paradise on Bluesky, Twitch, here, X, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Okay, I'm done. I'm gonna keep. Are you ready?
No, I'm ready.
Okay.
Just
now,
opening some things up.
Cool. Now, when you switch to the main screen, Sean, you need to check for the bars are moving.
Well, Shannon, I already checked before we started.
Well, sometimes things get fucked, so you gotta check again. Did you switch?
Yeah.
Great. Are the bars moving?
Yeah.
Are they moving? Boys, talk. Is it still moving?
If you talk, it moves.
I don't. All right. I wanted everybody to be included. Okay.
Well, everyone's here now.
Great.
Welcome, team.
Thanks, Shannon.
Hi. Good job, Shannon.
Thanks, guys.
Keeping us honest.
Bad, Sean.
Let's switch over to our recap.
Fuck, these are hot.
They're hot?
Oh, sorry.
On the 22nd day of Decim, the Raven's shadow on a soulless near. Last we left off. Iron and Mana began exploring the depths of Stormbreaker Landing's sewer system. The tomeless mage, Estos, guided them to this depth in an effort to sneak them into the lighthouse tower, where they endeavor to reignite the tower with blessed wort, a particular herb, a plant that can stave off the creeping undeath and rot that plagues this entire region. The wizard seemed trustworthy enough as you delved into the seemingly rotting dungeon. You encountered some monstrosities, despite the wizard's claims the tunnels were clear of large threats. At several junctions, you found yourself avoiding the wandering rot oozes and squeezing through tight tunnels in a meandering labyrinth infested with giant rats and other creatures. You might recall Norland's warnings about the strangeness of physical space and landing. Yet with every step you get closer to the lighthouse, and with every step that strangeness becomes more evident. Whether it's the elongating of space, the delving and rising of the sewers, or the vast spread of creeping rot and undeath penetrating every layer of this city. Alas, you find yourselves in the belly of said rot. And as you march through the wizard's map, you find something strange. The creeping rot forms undead constructs almost, with its impenetrable roots, writhing into the dead creatures that you fought. Our party attempted to bypass these carefully, but a battle ensued nonetheless. One that nearly ended this mission early. While fighting through rot-fiend beasts, a terrible amalgam of ooze attacked the party and nearly killed Saskia. The party narrowly escaped through a tight sewer pipe, although not without wounds, as you would all be covered in the caking, drying blood of your own, for some of you, and for all of you, the rot vomited up from the waters and the beasts here. Though, only one of you seems to have been afflicted by this rot with a sickness. But you climb your way up this narrow sewer pipe. And thankfully, Bruce's mold earth spell seals it behind you. You find yourself in a tank, a tall tank, a reservoir, possibly, for the runoff of the city. It's shallow enough where you sit, enough for you to rest here, as you hear the assault of the ooze trying to break through Bruce's spell. Soon enough, it quiets, and Jacquette ascends the ladder of this reservoir to peek beyond the wrought iron above, where he sees another tunnel leading upward at an angle. He descends back down, and you all successfully complete a short rest. The air is thick with humidity, almost. That dense fog that you saw in the previous room, there seems to be some presence of it here, but clinging really only to the surface of the very thick water that is at the base of this reservoir. It's shallow enough that if you kept to the edges of this circular reservoir, you could keep yourself dry. But the smell is noxious. And again, not of sewage, but of iron, of blood. As you keep trying to clean off the blood that is caked onto your weapons and your clothes and your boots. Too much blood, so much blood, an impossible amount of blood. But you quiet your hearts and steel yourself to rest. An hour passes. What do you do?
Quickly, just to refresh, the affliction that I have, that affected my short rest? Or is it just long rest? Where
It
I have to try
affected
to
your
refill
short
again?
rest. Yeah, so
Okay,
it affects
so-
your short rest in that you cannot, as long as you're afflicted with this sickness, you only gain half of the
That's what I
health
thought.
healed
Yep.
by your hit dice. That's the only symptom right now.
Okay.
So
I
you're
think-
in this reservoir. Go ahead.
I think covered in this blood and my own blood, I think at some point I would have vomited and just kind of been sick in this reservoir where we are, and I'll just sit kind of like with my head in my hands and I'm just like rubbing my temples, and I'll say out loud, do we really need to finish this? I want to go. I want to leave. This place fucking sucks. Can we leave? Can we just go?
As much as I want to do the same, I think we're in too deep, Saskia.
That's twice now. Twice that I've almost died.
From
don't think-
inside the pipe that we had crawled up in, because I imagine that this space is small, right? And so it's a 10 by 10 space, and so everyone is sitting in a corner, and Jacquette's just leaning down in the pipe that we crawled in, and he just looks up and he goes, Bruce is right, Saskia. I get it. This sucks. But we need to finish this through. And once we're out the other side, it'll be smooth sailing.
How do you fucking know that?
I don't.
Ah, right. So I'm fucking terrified. Is anybody else? Is anybody else scared?
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm more scared to go back than to go forward.
Well, we're gonna have to go back at some point. I know the lights will be lit, hopefully, if we fucking make it. But I don't like it here.
That's good. I don't think they're selling any houses around, so it'd be hard to move here.
You know what I fucking mean.
Yeah.
I don't like it here either, Saskia. Like I said, I think we're in too deep, and there's no way we can go back.
How much further do we have?
Well, at the top of this tank is another pipe, and hopefully that should lead us to the baths, right? That's where Estos said that this would eventually take us to the bathhouse, attached to the observatory, which is attached to the lighthouse, and then
Which is a fucking
conceivably-
wizard's tower, right? We don't know what's in it.
well, we do know that if it's a wizard's tower, there's probably good loot.
That is true. Usually, those do correlate. Wizards'
They're
towers
also-
generally have an area in which they store magic items. I know this from previous plans that I've seen at Goboko. I know exactly where it is too. It's on the top floor of the Wizard's Tower. It's like a little cubby.
Septimus, how do you look right now?
Septimus is just leaned against the wall, just kind of arms over himself. He's green,
Okay.
and he's just kind of batting his eyes, tiredly.
Okay. I have a potion of healing that I would like to walk over, and I'd like to hand that to you. You look like you could use this.
Oh, I've never
It's-
felt so nauseous in my life.
Yeah, just knock it back. Start with it. Pinch your nose. Pinch your nose as you do it. Just don't taste it.
Septimus will grab it and slowly try to take it down.
Sit it down.
I believe that's half as well, right?
Nope, it's just hit dice
Oh.
and
Oh,
long
just hit
rest
dice, okay.
recoveries.
All right, good. Then
Yeah, so
what
like
is it
say
again
you
for healing
had
potion?
2d4 plus 2. Or is it a minor healing potion, Jen?
Yeah, 2d4 plus 2.
Also 6, so then 8. Thanks, Sass.
Yeah.
Whatever the hell those things have biled all over me. It's really getting to me. But they're right.
Rest
We
longer.
do need to push on. Our only hope now is to use Bless Word and hope that it clears this area. We turn back now. We might as well be dead. But we should focus on getting to the lighthouse first. Make sure we set the Bless Word ablaze.
If you're gonna throw up again, look away, because if I see someone throw up, I'm gonna throw up.
I'm alright. Stop mentioning it.
Okay.
You might as well just throw up, get it out of your system.
I agree with Fearon on this one. It's the best way if you want to get to sleep with the spins.
Okay, so
Well, let's think about sleeping afterwards, but he's still infected with something that we need to cure.
can you do that?
So,
Oh, is that what's going on? He's infected?
he doesn't look right. He just said something that touched him.
Yeah, but... And then, leaning over as if, this can hide what he says to Bruce, Jacques goes, he kind of always doesn't look right. The extra arm, the metal. It's a little off-putting.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that one. Anyway, Septimus, do you think you can get up and move? Are you able to?
No, I'll be able to go on. Just resting helped.
All right.
I saw the chief focusing. We try to get on as best I can.
All right. How are we feeling all right, or can we?
I
Get a
think
move
we're
on?
about ready to take on the next leg, if you will.
Jack, what you want to take lead again?
You know it, though. My potion of true sight has run out, so I won't be as effective in
I can still
sight.
I can still see. I can
Well,
go first.
and I mean no offense by the Saskia, but I think with my ability to sneak, I will maintain a cover that you might not be able to.
But you just said you can't see.
I can see, just not super well.
Right.
And anyways, you gotta stay back and protect these guys. They're helpless without you.
I don't know.
And he
I'm
gives
pretty
her a little
fucking
wink
useless.
as he scurries up the ladder.
Ian's
That's what it
just
sounds like.
scratching the back of his head, and he's like, "Are we still trying to sneak?" I mean,
From up on top, shouting down. Jacques goes, I think it's a good idea. Dia.
I mean, do you want another one of those blobs coming after us? Do you want to go take one of those on, Feared?
Why are
I'm
you all
just saying-
shouting? Shut up!
we're already caught.
Shh.
We're not caught.
Hot.
All right,
All right.
going up the ladder.
Ladder.
All right.
We have
So, Jacques, you are obviously going ahead of everyone else.
Captain.
Septimus, you are still blind as a bat in this area.
Yes.
The previous
Can I
chamber
sandwich-
had the dim light.
Can I sandwich myself between Sass and Fearon?
Yes.
Protect me.
All
I'm
All
a
right,
frail old man, even though I'm in my late 20s.
Put your hand on my shoulder, but I swear to the ocean if you've
I'll
thrown
let
up
you
on
kn-
me.
I'll let you know if I need
Says-
to. But I think I'm all right.
This is the woman who just puked in front of everyone with no warning.
And drinks crab water. Large crab water.
That's fair.
So, Jacques,
Oh, that thing. God. Sorry.
that Septimus just
Septimus!
burped right behind you while you're climbing up.
It's rancid.
It just smells like death.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
because he did have a rot beast, a rot fiend, puke all over his face.
Rot fiend.
Rot beast fiend. Okay. Jacquette, since you're going ahead, I'll get your stealth check first. As you approach the top. And everyone, like, this is a... if anyone's afraid of heights, this is not a pleasant climb. This goes up like 100 feet. It's not just sort of like a backyard septic tank. This is a massive reservoir. So you're climbing up this ladder on the side to get to the top. And it's an old, rusty ladder. So occasionally you might slip your foot, or a ring might break in half. But you keep pushing upward. Jacquette, what was your stealth?
A 29.
Okay. You feel pretty confident about this stealthing.
Doesn't he always?
Yeah, always the head of the snake is very confident as the body wriggles wildly behind him. But Jacquette, you are able to open up the wrought iron grate. It's like a little piece of the hinge snaps, and like dust shoots out, and it's like,
Pardon my dust.
You can give me a perception check with disadvantage if you'd like.
Sure. Oh, that's still a 21.
Nice. So you see that same ascending tunnel that is that roughly 10 feet wide with a shallow canal in the middle that leads to this grate. That is immediately to your left when you're looking out. To your right is just sort of a rounded alcove that just seems like a place to stand or to congregate if you were doing maintenance in here. Once again, you can see in this area, you can see that there is a old burnt out campfire like you saw in one of the previous chambers. Seems to be another checkpoint that Estos had made it through. You imagine in the previous chamber, he must have either completely snuck through that or used his magic to get through that. Or perhaps that was in one of his runs down here, the place where he kind of got messed up. But you at the very least know that he at some point in one of his ventures into the sewers made it this far.
Is there anything there? Did he leave a satchel with some goods?
You can see that it does seem to be some detritus there that looks like old bags and old refuse. You could take a closer look.
Jack will take a closer look.
Okay, excellent. Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
That's a 6.
6. Nice. You find basically nothing. You find some old rotted rations. I'll say the one thing you do find that is not just nothing is a very, very moldy looking tattered spell scroll for a prestidigitation.
Jacquette is like, I imagine he's using his dagger of lightning return to poke through this, and then he sees it and he goes, this probably won't damage it, and he picks it up with the tip of the dagger as he's like, I wonder, does it make sense to use this on it? Because then I'll actually want to touch it. No, that's okay. And he's gonna.
Does your dagger's like slowly it's sliding down as the dagger's ripping through it?
He is going to actually put that in his bag.
Great.
Because I believe I can cast
it. The only other thing you would find is several shattered potion vials. It seems that at this, as you first met Estos, he had all those empty potion vials on that bandolier. He seemed to be really, really guzzling down potions to get through this place.
Gotcha.
Wait, upon exiting the drainage part or drainage tank ladder, was it like a
Well,
left? Did you say, or did you down a
It's
hallway? Or
so a better representation is it's more like a northwest direction
Thank you.
that it's going. But if you're coming along the ladder, to your left is the tunnel that leads upward, and to your right, roughly, is the alcove where this old campfire is.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Everyone else can give me stealth checks as they're ascending to join Jacquette.
Bummer.
23.
Okay.
Oh, Seppi.
Seppi, what'd you get?
4.
Okay. Fearn? You're muted.
20 on the first roll, 1 on the second.
Nat one?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a total
Bruce?
of 3.
7.
Okay. So, Sass, well, I guess what was the order of everyone? I know Septimus is fish sandwiched between Fearn and Saskia. Bruce, would you be in the back or in the front?
He'd probably be a little bit more towards the front, I believe.
Okay. So as you guys are climbing up, Bruce, you kind of push the grate a little further to squeeze out, and Sass, you're right behind him, feeling really good, stealthing as the grate just sort of like it was on a hinge, and it just sort of lifted it, and he pushed it a little too far that it went past the hinge to the point where it just falls to the other side. And you hear beneath you, Septimus sort of takes a misstep at hearing this crash, and his foot breaks through one of the rungs of the ladder, as you can hear a very loud iron bar just down the reservoir, while Fearn tried to catch it to stop the sounds of it, and he leaned back so far that his horns just bashed against the side of the reservoir, and there's just this very loud, almost like the reservoir became a bell in this moment.
You all are the fucking worst at this.
Yeah, shut up.
That includes you. You shut up.
And what I'll say is, like, all of you were trying very hard, and it's not necessarily that you were doing the wrong things. It's that you just are not proficient in stealth in the way that Sass and Jacquette are. So little things that they would notice, you push a little bit too far, or step in the wrong way, or your heavy armor does it, and it's not even your fault. Really, Fearn's was more so his heavy armor, like, had him go back further than he expected. But you
I'm
all,
exhausted.
you are also exhausted, so you had triple disadvantage. So this happens.
We stop moving and just observe.
Fools of Tooks! Throw yourself in next time and rid me of your stupidity!
So I'd say, Bruce, you're at the top of the ladder with your head poking out. Jacquette, you're in the tunnel itself. If the two of you want to give me perception checks to hear if anything responded to this, you can. If you're primarily using hearing in this, you don't have the disadvantage of the darkness.
Oh, I would just use my attempt to use tremor.
That's fine. Then you have a
I got
normal roll.
I got a 6 on audio sensor location.
Bruce,
I
what'd you
got
get?
a 15.
Okay.
I'm gonna bump that up to 20.
Okay. Jacquette, you are, perhaps your heart jumped too high with this loud clatter, and you're kind of, all you can really hear is your own heartbeat as you're like desperately trying to quiet your own mind and breath and heart to hear, and it's just you're a little too panicked in this moment to make out any clear distinctions in the the tunnels other than the ambient noise of the creaking of stone. Bruce, on the other hand, you recognize something with your tremor sense. This may or may not be in response to this, but it's something you notice. The waters that should be trickling in to this reservoir are flowing in reverse up that incline.
Reverse waterfall.
Up the incline.
Up the incline.
And that wasn't like that. Looked like it was happening.
You are not
regardless of
sure.
the noise. Okay.
You're not sure. It doesn't seem, it's not like rushing or anything like that. It seems to be trickling upwards. The thing that's perplexing about it is there's no source of water that's coming from. It's as if this is an ever-flowing stream coming from a single point at the end of the ravine, the small, like 1 to 2 foot deep ravine, and there's just a flow going upwards.
Sean, can I like get close enough to stick my hand in the ravine and like get like droplets of water in my hand and then just like let it drip from my hand and see what that does?
Yeah, you absolutely can. So you crawl over, and when you get to the edge of the ravine, because it has a mouth that feeds into the grate that you're climbing out of, but the water doesn't start until like a foot into that. So you're kind of crawling up and reaching your arm out, and you have the strangest physical sensation as your arm crosses over to where this water is, where you feel it's almost like your arm immediately flings upwards, as if the gravity just doesn't make sense there. It's almost like your arm's hanging, and you bring it down and it's harder. It's almost like you're trying to lift up. If you're hanging upside down, you put your hand in the water, and as it disturbs it, you see just the rings of disturbance create these droplets that then start flowing upwards like reverse rain. Just a few droplets, and then when your hand comes out, all the water on it just reverse droplets to the ceiling.
What the heck? Bruce is gonna probably just take a minute right at this where the water source is, and let it, everybody can come up and.
Yeah, and it really doesn't, like, there's no rhyme or reason to it. It is, the droplets are almost reacting in complete and utter disorder, where they're moving this way, that way. Your arm almost feels like it's in a disordered state, where you, like, at some points, like, it's weighted upwards, and then it kind of like gives way a little bit and almost sways as if there's just a flux of gravity in this area. Which you would be able to recognize a little bit more than anyone else because you know gravity spells, and you've experienced or know the manipulations of gravity that can be done with magic.
And is it only my arm that I touch the water with?
It seems to be a threshold, like anything past the point when that pool starts.
Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, cool. I'm gonna quickly message Saskia or say out loud. Saskia, do not drink this water. Do not.
I wasn't planning
Drink this
on
water.
it. All right, I've never seen water fucking act like this. That's weird. What's going on?
Avoid it for now.
Right.
Doesn't
I think there's
defies the laws of our gravity.
There's an old northern saying, don't piss into the reverse waterfall.
It makes
Good
sense
say.
in the north because there is a
I'm
spatially
curious.
displaced entire area there
Okay.
that would have
So I was
reverse
gonna ask, I'm
waterfalls.
curious to know where that comes from.
All right. Well, if you all are done with your, gesturing to the opening of the grate, I'm going to scout ahead, and I'll be back momentarily to let you know the coast is clean.
Yes.
He
Bruce,
scampers off.
Can I at least clean off with the water? It was kind of gross in that sewer.
No. If anything, I'll use my bag, and if you want to clean up. Also, why didn't we had a whole hour to clean up?
Well, it was gross down there too. Didn't make
All
much
right.
sense.
Anyway,
Fairness-
I've got a bag of water.
Fairness
I
gonna be
have
gross so much,
500
right?
pounds of water.
Okay, great.
Here we go.
Fear impatiently starts splashing his face and like rubbing the water on his like skin, you know, waiting for the stealthers to finish their jobs.
Yeah. Are you all just sort of sitting in wait in the alcove where the old campfire is?
Yeah, I imagine Bruce would still be perplexed by the water, and begin to cast or ritual cast the identify spell, waiting for the
Sure.
yeah.
I imagine as you're preparing that ritual, like Jacquet just stealthily saunters into the tunnel. In my head, I almost imagine Bruce like messing with the water as Jacquet just like steps right into it. And Jacquet, when you step into the water, you would notice the same displacement of droplets, and you'd start to feel your body fluctuating. It's a very soft effect at first, where you just feel a little airy, a little floaty, almost a little bit like when Sass uses levitate on you, in the way that you don't have full control of your placement in space. Do you continue proceeding?
Yes, but Jacquet will be careful about it and probably avoid the water if he can. And actually, he might like almost test it out a little bit, like using his innate climbing speed, like see if he can like kind of scamper on the wall a bit and be like, "Ooh,
Yeah.
that's fun."
Yeah, give me a strength saving throw.
Oh. 12.
You do not succeed in maintaining control of your gravitational space here. Jacquet, you feel yourself almost, there's a crunching effect that happens here where the the space kind of pulls you in several directions. You take 5 bludgeoning damage as you just sort of feel yourself kind of getting beat in multiple directions by this gravitational pull, where then suddenly you are just kind of floating in the air with like your arms being pulled in one direction and then like being let go until you finally like reach a point where your toe touches the ground and you're able to kind of reconstitute yourself to a point where you can proceed or retreat well again.
Yeah, Jacquet's gonna just keep going, and depending on how far away he is from the rest of the group, will whisper or stage whisper back to them and go, "This gravity shit is fucked up. Just go through. I'm not coming back."
While he's doing this, could I have poured some of the regular water into the gravitational water to see if it acts the same way?
Yeah, it does. No investigations needed. You pour the water in. In fact, as you're pouring it, you watch it doesn't even reach the water. It just sort of floats into water droplets that then sort of disperse into the air until they hit
so
the
it's
walls.
Like the whole room, sort of.
Yeah, it's not the stream of water. I think Jacquet definitely can tell it's not just being in the water that it has affected. It's within the confines of this tunnel, it seems, when you pass the threshold. Bruce, your ritual spell goes off to identify. What you see is that gravitational magic. You can see it is affecting the entire tunnel. You don't necessarily see the full length of it because this isn't a detect magic spell. You just sort of get the understanding of what is the enchantment is that's affecting this tunnel. With this understanding that it is a gravitational well, so to speak, you also are able to pinpoint how it is so chaotic from your perspective. It's then that with your tremor sense, you can notice that the walls of this tunnel are pocked with roots that stick their tendrils out. And it's almost as if each point of each individual root is a gravitational pull, which is why it is so chaotic and so like dependent on the micro movements you make, is that a 1 foot circle might have a dozen roots sticking out that all have their own micro gravitational pull on it. So you can see that in a larger space when you're walking through, it can really wrench you if you're not holding yourself still or succeeding on a strength saving throw, one would say.
Got it. All right. I relay all of that to the... Bruce gets up and relays that to the group. And then after relaying it to the group, he will message Jacquet, if he's still in range, that exact...
I imagine Jocko was
well.
going pretty slow through this.
Anywhere where he starts to feel the effect, he might quicken his pace, just trying to get out of it quicker. But yeah, he's not running.
Yeah, I would say in this process, I'll ask for 2 more strength saving throws from you, Jacquet.
That's a 2 and a 14.
Okay, so you're going to get another 5 points of bludgeoning damage, but the 14 does succeed.
Cool.
But Jacquet, I'll say, since you've made it through 3 of these saving throws, you can notice ahead a complete reversal of gravity, where it's no longer a sort of wormhole tunnel, and more so the tunnel itself just completely reverses. You can see all the water flows upward, as you said earlier, like a reverse waterfall. And you can imagine that crossing that threshold would be not correct gravity, but at least complete directional gravity that goes in one way.
And about how long is this tunnel that I've been traversing?
Overall, this tunnel that you've been going through is the gravitational tunnel is about 120 feet.
Okay.
And just to be clear, this tunnel is going up?
Yeah, at
Or
an
like
angle.
he's climbing?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
ascending at an angle.
What's the angle? Like, is it like 10 degrees, 45?
We'll say a smooth 33.
All right, perfect. Love that.
But yes, you can discern that there's a 120 foot long gravity well tunnel.
Okay.
So do we just follow him? Jacquet, is it safe? I call softly down the tunnel.
Saves.
Well,
Jacquet.
if Bruce messaged him, I feel like that would he would be like,
I'm at a point where the gravity seems to flip, and past that I can't quite tell what's ahead. So if you want to start coming, just be careful. The gravity seems to pull at you, and it's not fun.
All right, Jacquet made it to a point where everything seems to be reversed. We should probably get going. Be careful as we proceed. Yeah, we might get tossed around a little bit.
Fearn just picks up Bruce and just like holds him
Oh.
under his arm.
Okay. Thank you.
Let's go.
I will help Septimus through.
Is it still like pitch black or like very dark?
Yes.
Where I can't really perceive. Okay, well then yes, I will need
Pitch
help.
black.
I got you. I got you, boo.
Bruce is gonna slap. Oh wait, actually, it doesn't help. Never mind.
Yeah, that's you would need bless to.
Bruce is gonna slap people.
Yeah, I was gonna give him
slaps like,
guidance.
oh no, the magic, it's not there.
I was gonna give him guidance, but it's a strength saving throw, not a athletics
not a check.
The slap doesn't reach my AC, so everything's fine.
Okay, Fearn, I will ask for a strength saving throw from you. I'd say if you're really coddling Bruce into a tight squeeze, he does not need to make a strength saving throw. He will be included in yours.
How tight
That'd be
you
great because I have
squeezing that boy.
-2 to that. So.
Oh, buddy.
24, Sean.
You are able to walk through Fear, and it almost feels like you're in a really aggressive, you're underwater in an aggressive wave pool where it's just going in every direction, but you're able to, like, one step at a time, just get through slowly but surely. Um,
I fared blizzards harder than this.
and you've succeeded on your first one, so you're able to use that through to the end. Sass, go ahead. Strength saving throw.
Okie dokie. 18.
You also succeed on your first one, so you will not need to make the subsequent rolls. It is uncomfortable, though, as you're going through.
Yeah.
Septimus, strength saving throw.
How dare you?
Can I hold his hand or something to?
Wait, does that count for ability rolls?
No,
No.
you do not have disadvantage
It
on
doesn't
this.
matter. I suck ass. That's a 6.
What'd you get?
A 6.
But I'm holding his hand. Can you roll with advantage?
No. That's gonna be 2 bludgeoning damage as the gravity kicks your ass for a moment, pulls you around.
No, come on, Septimus. Step here, not there. Right here. Follow my voice.
Okay.
And I'll say now that you're in the second roll of it, and Sass has already succeeded, she can now assist you.
All right.
So you'll have
Sass.
advantage on this one.
We'll see how that
Cancels
works.
out.
Thank you, Saz.
Oh God.
What'd you get?
It was a 1, but oh, what are you doing?
5.
Septimus, no.
4 bludgeoning damage. And make your last one.
Pull him out.
That is what's giving him advantage, is you pulling him. Septimus is basically like free floating through this, getting the shit kicked out of him by these roots.
Like
and
bumping
Sass
into
pulling
stuff
him is the only thing getting him through. So go ahead.
Another
give me
one?
your last one. Yep, this is the last one.
With advantage again?
With advantage again.
Okay, that's so nice of you. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Jesus.
What'd you get?
7.
You got a 1, 5, 6, 7.
It's ridiculous.
Only 2 bludgeoning damage on the last one.
I imagine I pull you out and just like catch you as you come stumbling.
Wait, you said
through.
1.
Yes. Oh, 2 bludgeoning damage. Septimus, because you get so free pulled through this.
He's just ragdolling the whole time.
He's basically
Yeah, pretty much. I'm just like
ragdolling.
going and just like spinning and hitting.
It's basically
shit.
every second that you get like your footing again, the gravity switches up on you and you trip forward into it, and like you're making progress slowly, and the only reason you're really able to keep going through is because Sass is pulling you through. But Septimus, with this happening to you and the fact that you can't see anything, it's very disorienting, and with sort of this heightened sense of hearing while this is happening, every time you get the shit kicked out of you by this gravity, you hear the sound, the very quiet sound of the roots just writhing in the roots, almost like the sound of them growing very quickly towards you. Just like every time they're succeeding in fucking with you, these roots grow closer to you.
Faster, are you there?
Yeah, I'm right here. Come on,
Alright,
step right here.
Get me out of there. Are we? Get me away from them.
So you're all at the end of this 120 feet where there's essentially a wall of water in front of you, flowing upwards. It seems like the accumulation of water increases here.
Do I hear it?
You can definitely hear it, yes. But it's also sort of blocking the sound of anything on the other side of it. As just this just very quiet streaming sound going up, and the sound of it. And you actually feel splashes on your face as it hits the top of the tunnel and splashes just the same as it would if it was hitting the actual ground. It seems like the root's gravity effect is not happening within this small space in front of this wall. You do feel like almost an upward ascension from you, but it's not strong enough to completely suck you through to the other side.
So fuck, do we just go through?
Whatever we do, I think we. Septimus like a little panicked now. It's like the amount of things I hit. It feels like I hit all those roots. They know that we're here.
I do think that Jacques would have gone through without the rest of them already.
Sure. Jacquette, when you step through, I mean, you know what's happening. Like, you know you're going to flip up. So you can give me an acrobatics check with that to squeeze or to go in and not be affected by that.
Can I use like my climb speed to? I mean, I'm probably.
Oh
Gonna
yeah,
succeed in
no, actually, yeah.
Like-
if you want, you can climb to the top and go through, so that it's like you just quietly feel yourself not have to
up.
hold. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can definitely do that.
Cool.
So yeah, so Jacquette, you climb up to the top and get into cat pounce mode and jump through, and it feels very that there's a weird moment where your like upper torso and your behind have different gravitational pulls, but you get in or you crawl in and you feel stable. And you can feel sort of the splash of water, your stomach settles. I'd say really, especially any of you who, I don't know, in character have sensitive tummies, would have felt very sick by the gravitational pulls in the previous room. And as soon as you... Oh, he's rolling.
Oh, wait, that was Dex. 3, though. Oh, it's okay. Now, Septimus is good. He held it down.
He held it down, okay. Jacquette, when you look up, you can see that this section of the tunnel is significantly more overgrown with roots. And there is a dim light in this area that you notice. Very dim, because you notice on these roots, all of them have these very, very faint gold glowing thorns. That creates this very, very dim light that almost doesn't even count as dim light, but for mechanic reasons, it will count as dim light. And these thorns all swirl like bent horns from the walls of the tunnel. And that's just with your cursory glance with no perception. So what was a 10-foot wide tunnel is more like 5 feet wide to you now.
All right, Jacquette's gonna just keep inching down this tunnel, trying to get to the end.
I guess we'll just follow. Go through. I'm still holding Septimus's hand.
Do we have to do another like check? Because like, is the water flowing upward or it's flowing downward? That we have to go
It's flowing upward. So if you just walk through it, then you need to give me like an acrobatics check to basically really just not completely fall on your face. Like, you're not gonna like suffer damage from this. It's more about your character's role.
I'll make you eat those words.
Unless somehow Septimus just, I don't know, rolls a -10. Your dice physically change.
Hang on, hold on to my hands. Let me go through, and then I'll pull you through.
Okay.
So I will go through, still holding onto.
Yeah, I think that's So you go ahead and give me your acrobatics check, Sass.
22.
You get through very cleanly, almost do like a little circus tumble into the new gravity while holding on to his hand. Septimus, you can come through with advantage because Sass is helping you on your acrobatics check.
Acrobatics, eh?
Yes.
16.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so with Sass's help, you are able to very, very fluidly go through. You both, of course, feel the strange sensation of the reversal of gravity, but you make it through. No problem.
If I were to reach my hand back through, can I pull the others back and give them advantage too?
Yeah, you guys can help each other through.
Come on, who's next?
Fear does. Would I still be holding Bruce at this point?
You can still hold Bruce for this.
Okay, I don't take Saskia's hand. I want to roll regular.
Okay.
Oh, 14?
Make him fall.
No, 14 will just make it. DC wasn't too high. This isn't something where you're like life or death. It's just a matter of pride. And Fearn does make it just through. I will say the reversal of gravity does sort of mess a little bit with Fearn, and he does let go of Bruce while he's going through.
Oh, no.
And I will ask
Yeah.
Bruce to give me a dexterity saving throw, or I'm not sorry, an acrobatics check,
Oh boy.
just to see if you land on your head or not.
You danged fool.
4.
Bruce, you do a mighty tumble. A mighty tumble. Bruce, you tumble through after Fear drops you for a moment, and you kind of like land and you're sort of belly down. And when you open your eyes and look up with your goggles, you can see the myriad wall of thorned roots ahead of you. And you can also see with your tremor sense the skeletal remains within the roots.
Bruce, I imagine, just like stands like really still after that happens.
Bruce, you okay?
Yeah. We have to be careful about making any more vibrations in the walls. These roots they've got skeletal remains in them.
Oh God.
Can you like
At
point
least
him
I could
out? Maybe we can.
At least I could see now, somewhat. Make sure not to touch.
Yeah, I could try to point him out. Can I point him out?
Is there
Yes,
like a sort
yes,
of
especially because
yeah.
Septimus has dim light in here now, so Septimus can see better than he could before. But it essentially, like I said to Jacquet, turns this 10-foot wide tunnel into a 5-foot wide tunnel. And they're gnarled and pointing and sticking out at different angles. Bruce, you with yet tremor sense notice that there are these skeletons inside that they seem to have grown through, whether they were pierced in a very quick fashion or slowly grew through this is not completely certain. And you can notice the myriad of thorns with their dim light on them. And with this dim light, and Jacquet, you would notice this as you had started to go through as well, you can see that the roots themselves are a regular dull kind of brownish gray of regular roots. But there is sort of this lining over it of like this red ichor, like the blood, as if these roots are not inherently the evil thing here, but are affected by the evil thing.
And are these the same roots that we encountered in the previous, before the short rest?
No. No, those were much more the fleshy in their nature, and looked as though one of two things you could surmise with this. It's either those roots are a wholly distinct root, or roots like these that have fully been corrupted by whatever this filament on top of it is.
Gotcha.
You said it's golden?
The thorns are golden.
Hmm.
Are any of these roots like nearby?
They're everywhere.
Like,
They're
I
basically
wanna-
they're basically arch around you.
if
So
it's
essentially,
if it's like
to
a five,
proceed, we're gonna have to like finagle our way through this to make sure we don't get thorned. Correct? Is what you're saying.
Yes.
I mean, can Fearn just like take out a hand axe, like summon it, and just like take a small, teeny tiny hack into like one of the roots to see, if it acts the same way?
Sure.
Basically,
Let
just
me
nicking it.
let me just resolve Jacquet going a little bit ahead of you guys while you are coming through here, and then I'll come back to this. So Jacquet, you can give me a dexterity saving throw to move through these. We'll only need one, unless it's fails, similar to the last tunnel.
21.
You are nothing if not dexterous, and able to, yes.
Did we ever see the blessed wart in
No.
its? Okay.
You've only ever seen it in that dried version that he had.
Okay. Thank you. That's all I want.
Mm-hmm. No problemo. So you are easily able to maneuver through this, and by easily I mean you are actually taking your professional time with it to make sure that you're not pricked by any of this. You might occasionally feel like a root brush up against your arm, but you never get nicked by any of the thorns themselves. The tunnel here seems to wind more than the previous ones. Almost like to a point when the roots are so thick that you're like, am I actually walking through that tunnel, or is the roots diverted this tunnel in a serpentine way where it has sort of collapsed and grown in a way to reshape the tunnel, but the water still flows at your feet through it. The water in this area is a little deeper than it was in the previous section, where it was really only like a foot deep. This one, it's more like 2 feet deep, and
Okay.
overflows the ravine a little bit. So the roots are like, some of these roots are underneath the water. But the ground itself seems to stay knotted with unthorned roots and old stone that has been somewhat displaced by these roots. But as you go through, Jacquette, you don't seem to notice anything dangerous other than needing to avoid these roots. It does start to feel more and more claustrophobic the deeper in you get. And I'd say once you are like 60 feet in and you've kind of wrapped around one of these S-shaped bends of tunnel, that you do feel a sense of pause for a moment, where you hear the slow crunching of the stone around you and the slow movement of these roots. And the gold light of the thorns seems to be a little bit brighter. And you hear a voice in the distance. Doesn't sound too different. Sounds like a human, just a person. That just says, "Thou art touched by ordaining will. Give me a wisdom saving throw."
Nine.
Yes.
Quick point of clarification. I don't know if this has anything to do with anything. Jacquette is still under the effect of Bruce's undead
disguise. Yeah.
Yes.
You know what? That would actually affect this, because you would not be perceived as what you are to this entity. You would be seen as a shambling undead moving through these roots.
Mhm.
So no, I take that back. You hear nothing, and may
Okay.
proceed, because you
You're
were just
not
simply
conscious.
not sensed in the same way as this being. So, Jacquette, I'll say you still feel that sense of pause.
Okay.
There is a clear shift in the dynamic of the space you're in. We'll say your movement into the space triggered a response that has no effect on you.
Gotcha. But I don't know about it. Can't
But you
warn
don't
anyone
know
about it.
Can't warn anyone. You just felt basically an existential feeling of dread for 2 seconds.
Not the first time, probably won't be the last.
All right, he seems to be doing okay. Let's just don't touch anything. Yeah?
I might get back in the bag for this one.
Yeah. I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
Fiona already cut a little bit of the thing.
Yeah,
It's
so
kind of
Fiona,
cool.
Fiona, as you cut that, Give me an attack roll.
Okay. I would say it's less of an attack and more of like a gentle incision. You know,
Okay.
like I'm not like whacking it.
Yeah,
just-
I'll still ask for an attack roll for it then.
Sure.
And this is with your hand axe?
Yes. 16.
16. Okay, so you are just able, and this is what maybe you can glean something from. Even with it being, a sharpened axe coming through to this, you'd think would at least leave like an indentation upon being gently pressed into it. It takes you quite a bit of strength, obviously not a full swing, to just pierce the skin of the root and get a little incision there. The incision immediately glows with the same golden light of the thorns before you can visibly see the red oozy filament around it just start to go in to this incision and just sort of go flows into it at a rapid pace.
Flowing
Is this,
into it from the outside.
Yep, so like the tiny incision Fearn made. Because this red ooze on it is like a membrane. That's the word I haven't been able to think of. It's like a membrane over all of it. Like, has anyone ever seen, this is gross, but in any cooking show, intestinal lining?
Yeah.
It looks like that stretched taut over.
Literally all the time.
Over the roots.
So
Okay,
like,
so the red membrane is around this golden root. Is the root itself golden, or is it just giving
the
golden
root
aura?
itself is a dark brownish gray. The thorns are the part that's golden, and like I'd say a part around the thorns, like almost like you can see where the thorn is underneath the skin of the root glows still to create a dim aura around it.
Sean, when I see that stuff is going in, I want to quickly cast Green Flame Blade and try and cauterize the wound I just made.
Chitterlings, that's what it's called. No, that's the actual
Chitterlings.
Tripe is what I'm thinking. Anyway, you try to cauterize it with your spell. Okay. I would say,
or at least burn it so it stops the. I mean, I don't know if that's gonna stop
no.
Give it a try.
No, I think that can work. I'll say is the green flames of your magic sort of lick around the tip of this root and sort of burn the end of it down to the point when it is
I figured
beyond
the membrane
cut.
would burn before the root would burn.
Yeah,
That's
you're
my
able
guess.
to. I think this would actually work. So you would sort of cauterize the end of it, almost burn the end of the, in a way, almost amputating the end the end of the root with this green flame, and it does seem to affect the membrane as well. But there's no like sudden massive growth of the roots. They don't react in a way that is sort of an aggressive assault.
Fearn just goes, oof, like takes his mask off and like wipes his brow, like a little nervous that he might have like caused an issue there for a second. Right, don't touch anybody, anything. Don't touch anything, anyone.
That's what I just fucking said. That's okay.
Okay, so what is the marching order to follow Jacquette through?
I'm going.
Okay, so Sass
Carefully.
first.
Yeah.
And me.
Okay.
You can put your head on my shoulder if you want.
And
Fearn's
then,
holding up the back.
And Bruce, you're in the bag?
I'm in the bag.
All right, who's carrying Bruce in the bag?
Not me.
I last had the bag, so I guess I am.
Okay, so Fearn's carrying the bag of holding containing Bruce. Bruce, you are back in your little deprivation chamber bag of holding. With because your bubble lasts for 24 hours, right? Bruce?
Deep freeze.
Yes, sorry. I was
Never.
like Yes.
He's doing math in his head. Okay, so one at a time then. I'll ask for dexterity saving throws as you move slowly through. So Sass, you can go first, then Septimus, then Fearon.
Natural 20 for 23.
Okay, Sass, you are dancing through these basically. You are able to take clean steps, which makes sense since you have the clearest vision of everyone in here. Everyone else is operating off of dark vision, or actually no, everyone has clear vision, but you have like daylight vision, while Septimus has his old man vision during this time. Septimus, dexterity saving throw.
28. Was it 13?
I thought you said 28.
No. I'm saying I
Yes.
am 28.
13, you said?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay. Septimus, you take 5 piercing damage as you're walking along. With your dim vision, you don't quite catch a bramble of thorns that your left leg passes through, and you can feel a bramble of it gets caught on your leg. You have to pull your leg out, and you feel it slice.
Can I perceive what happens? Is it just a cut? Is there any magic behind this?
This stuff's gonna start going inside him.
He's already gooed up.
He doesn't
He's a
need
Goolian already.
more.
Septimus, give me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh. Gonna have to put him in a bag.
Just put his legs in the bag.
11.
What are you doing?
Failing hard.
Slowly
These
dying.
rolls, man.
Yeah.
They're so rough. But like all the time.
Yeah.
Septimus, you look down and you see the brambles caught on your leg, and the thorns have cut you and sliced your leg a little bit. And you can see, in the same way Fearon's experiment, the membrane moving quickly up the thorns and into your wound.
What?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Can I do a quick wait.
You take 5 points of necrotic damage.
Can I use a minor healing to try
Yes.
to seal to stop
Yes.
the flow of them constantly going in?
Yes.
I was trying to see how many charges I had on my staff healing. So yes, I'm going to cure wounds. Yes. Which is 10 points. Okay. So yes, I'll get my staff immediately out and just put it on point it towards my cut and try to seal the opening up.
Your cure wounds does so. It seals up your wound. You do feel the noxious infection in your blood. Thankfully, it wasn't concentrated enough to advance your already sickness, but you will have the poisoned condition for the next hour.
Sucks to
God.
be you.
But something peculiar happens. Your healing spell affects this area. It seems as though the radiant energy of the healing spell lights up these thorns greater, to the point when in a 10-foot area around the point where you healed, all these thorns are now bright light. And the 10-foot area where there is this bright light, the membrane retracts off of the thorns.
Oh.
Does that mean I don't have to roll?
It's longer than just the 5-foot area that he's cleared of the membranes. But it seems as though the thorns specifically reacted and gained almost power from your healing spell, and singed away the membrane.
Oh,
So you can surmise from this
Being-
that the healing spells create a 5-foot effect that affects this ooze in some way.
seeing that, can Septimus kind of like channel a sacred flame, like in his palm, and put it kind of near these thorns and see if it reacts to that, or just like channel like his magic and see. If
Yeah,
his
I would say you
or
can
leaf magic in that, see if it reacts somewhat.
you can light up a sacred flame in your palm. No. That's you with your pipe.
Oh, right.
Septimus, you light up this sacred flame, and it doesn't have the same effect. It seems as though it's certainly like when you bring the sacred flame close to the membranes, it does wince and retract, but it seems it is healing specifically that affects
I
it.
see. But does my sacred flame? It just retracts a little bit. It's nothing significant.
It's just reacting to like the radiant heat more so than
Right,
it is having the major effect it got from healing magic.
Gotcha. Okay. Damn. I can't constantly heal through this, but keep an eye on it.
Okay, Fearn, give me a dexterity saving throw.
I got an 11, Sean.
Okay. Fearn, you take 6 points of piercing damage as you're getting all, you're bigger than everyone else. So you just feel like this. The thorns and brambles are like just getting caught in your armor, and then as they get caught in your armor, they're then getting placed where they can slice at your skin. Give me a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Nat 20 for 25.
Oh,
All right, you're able to pull yourself out of the brambles, and you're tough enough that you're able to keep the ooze from entering into your wounds.
I just flex and it spits out of me.
Yeah.
It's like, if I bleed more, they can't get in against the flow of blood. But a lot of you have made it like about 30, 40 feet into this. Sass, you do not need to make any more dexterity saving throws to get through. But do you stay behind with them or keep moving ahead? Because they're slowed in this moment, basically.
I would stay to make sure that they get across okay.
Okay. All right. Septimus, Fearn, give me dexterity saving throws again.
Septimus.
Roll better.
Good here.
And
Just
then
doing
we're
it
gonna
on
check in
purpose.
with Jacquette in a moment. After this.
We just
well.
I just like I might as well just not roll anymore. Just fail me anytime.
What did you get, sir?
3.
3.
It's a battle of attrition. Septimus just slowly pink.
Sean,
pink.
Can we say that at some point, Fearn just like gets in front of Septimus and just starts green flame blading the shit out of everything and just trailblazing through this?
Well, it's
You
5 foot
can at some point if you choose
tunnel,
to.
right?
It
Onto
is, yeah.
Karen. Onto it.
But Septimus, take 2 points of piercing damage.
Ouch. And
Give me a Constitution saving throw.
With
Roll
disadvantage.
better.
that's a 9, baby.
Oh my god.
Do you have the statue that I have?
I probably in real life.
It seems like his computer does with this digital dice.
Yeah.
4 necrotic damage.
Ooh.
You need a bigger monitor. That's the problem.
And then the same thing that happens before.
It does start to rush in. What would you like to do?
Same thing as before. Use another charge for cure wounds.
Eh?
Fear.
Point. Yeah. Ooh, 13.
Dexterity
Let's
saving
go.
throw. Actually, Fear and no, yeah, dexterity saving throw.
Oh, I already rolled it. 19.
Okay, Fear, you are officially good getting through. And I'm going to say because Sass didn't leave and Fear is right behind Septimus, the two of them combined
Go.
can keep Septimus
Let's
moving
go,
through
Colin.
without
I
getting
got the arms,
further.
you get the legs.
Yeah. As
I'm so sick.
majority of you have now succeeded,
Oh.
and the positioning, yeah, Septimus truly low. Like you are reaching a point of like fear. Like you feel a fever essentially come upon you. That feels more intense at the places that your body touches your mechanical parts. Not in a sense of like you think there's any kind of like special sensitivity to magic here. It's just like that's where your flesh is technically weakest. And you just feel intense like itchiness, scratchiness, a reminder that you're not really Machina. You've merely
Oh, I don't want to hear it.
these are the thoughts that are coming into your head from an invisible voice. But the more and more the sickness comes in, and the more fearful you get of this place. And the lot of you round the serpentine bend, and that wall comes.
Oh, hi, guys.
For a moment, you all see probably 60 feet ahead is Jacquette in the tunnel, moving onward, looking rather normal. You've slightly caught up with him, and he is moving through as carefully as you imagine. Jacquette, you are moving through, and you actually can see a light at the end of the tunnel coming through another circular grate into another chamber. And you can see where these thorns kind of open up into a somewhat wider room. Not super large, but expands out to 20 feet across. The thorns are much more gradient up the walls. But at each one of you, as you reach this bend, it's almost like your heart stops for a second. You hit an invisible wall.
A little one?
No. You start to hear the creaking. Everyone give me a wisdom saving throw.
Even me?
You're creaking?
Yeah, the creaking of the roots. Almost like
Oh,
you can hear it, like you heard before, where it sounds like they're
Yeah.
coming in upon you.
Wisdom save? Alright,
Yes.
guys. I got this.
He says, not having it.
It would be very bad for me to fail. It was a 16.
16. Okay.
It
Sass,
was still a shitty. It was still a shitty roll.
19.
Fear.
13.
Okay. You all hear the voice. Although,
Even Jacquette.
no, Jacquette doesn't. You hear the voice, but two of you are able to sort of shake it off. Fear. Thou art touched by ordaining will. And there's this deep, deep, deep sense of fear that overcomes you, Fear. That stepping deeper into this tunnel, proceeding, will lead to nothing but death, sorrow, grief, the ruin of all you love and care about. If you push forward through this tunnel. The two of you begin walking through. In fact, the second you succeed on that saving throw, it almost feels like the thorns retract a little. And you feel it's easier to pass through. So you look back and Fearn, what do they see when they look to you?
Fearn has put his mask over his face, so you can't tell his expression. But he's just like you could tell that he's feeling like some sort of distress because he still has his hand axe in his hand and he's just gripping it with a white knuckle, and he has it in front of him, and he's like basically like almost like it looks like he's about to like attack something, but he's really just struggling to take one step.
Fjern,
He doesn't say anything.
come on, it's all right. It's I don't know what it is. Come on.
I can't.
What do you mean you can't?
It's just
You have to. Come on.
no.
Fear, and you are literally affected by the fear mechanic, but the target of your fear is the other end of this tunnel.
Right. So I literally can't.
That can pass only by the way of shadow. And then thy will can be blessed by mine heavenly fathers.
What is the way of shadow?
What?
Speak
What are you talking
louder.
Who are you talking to?
The voice. Don't you hear it?
Not anymore. No. Don't listen to it, Fjern. Come on.
Only with thine blind will can you proceed. And feel the razors, spikes of mine heavenly fathers.
What is it saying?
Fearn ignores both voices and is just like willing himself as hard as he can to just push forward despite his overwhelming fear. And it just looks like he's like, grasping at the air. It looks like he's almost walking in place because it's just like there's an invisible wall there that he can't, like he keeps hesitating in front of.
Can I... Did you have something you wanted to say first?
I'll say one thing and then you can do what you're going to do.
Okay.
The roots of mine heavenly Father and the light of mine heavenly Father scrape against your will. Follow in shadow and be cut, but blessed.
Were you gonna do something? Because I'm about to do something.
Can I cast Dispel Magic
Sure.
on him?
On Fearn?
Mm-hmm. And it is
What level?
5th level. So when you cast the spell using a spell slot of 4th or higher, you automatically end the effects of a spell at the spell's levels equal to or less than the level of the spell slot you used.
I will say, even though this is not exactly like a leveled spell, it did have a DC, and I'm basically going to use that DC as your DC for this. What level was the spell slot you used?
5th.
You don't need to roll. Literally, 5th is exactly what you needed to overcome this.
Cool.
So, Fearn.
Yeah, I imagine as she was casting that spell, Fearn was just about to reach out and grab one of the thorns,
Shake it off, Fearn.
pierce his own hand, listening to the other voice. And as soon as the spell hits, I hesitate, and I put my hand down and say, "Thanks." And you see the mask disappears, and he's looking at you with earnest eyes.
Fuck. Let's go. Come on. Don't touch it.
Jacquette, as they're getting through the last stretch of this, you get to that chamber on the other side. And again, there's these brambles all over the place that sort of creep up the walls. It's a larger chamber here that has several pipes that lead into it, as if this is a cistern of sorts. But when you look up above, you can see kind of like where the cistern would, or you look up above is where the cistern should be, where the water should be flowing. But it's obviously barren and sort of leads into just sort of darkness. But you can see ahead of you where this light's coming from is that one grated circular chamber that would normally probably feed into this with water. But there's no water flowing. The brambles gather all over this and sort of ascend into the darkness above. This, similar to the last two chambers, makes you think about what Norland said about the spatial displacement of this. Like, it's elongated stretch, like the cistern above you shouldn't go into absolute darkness. It should just be a collection area. You should see where it ends. But it's just filled with these brambles, and you follow them, and they all come down to a section of wall just below that the tunnel with the light. Yes.
Is gravity still reversed here? So
yes.
Technically still walking on the ceiling, so everything that I'm seeing is like reverse.
Yes, in a weird way. Correct.
Okay.
And it's when you get into this space, it's basically a rectangle that is about 60 feet long and 30 feet wall to wall, and then the roof goes up. It goes up like 15 feet, but then it opens up into that sort of cistern. That's the ceiling that you're looking up to.
And this is all before the grate that marks our exit.
Correct. And you can see the grate that marks your exit. Again, reverse gravity, what would be in the normal world above it, but for you is at the floor, is what appears to be all these roots gathering up together around a humanoid body that's sort of slacked forward. It has knight armor on, and a tattered old sort of cloak, a side cloak that is a faded green. Yes, that's what you see.
Never mind. I'm out there.
You'll be there shortly, but I want to give Jacques a chance because you're all moving through the brambles to do anything he'd like to do in here.
A green, kind of like a green of a cloak we've seen before.
Yes.
All right, Jacquette's gonna check this space out before properly entering to make sure there's nothing, no isopods, no oozes, no blood oozes, no black oozes, no gray oozes, no gelatinous cubes. And then he would approach the figure, probably skirting around the edge.
Okay. Give me a perception check.
14.
But yeah, and like I said, like there are those like pillars there of a cistern. But again, where there'd be the dome ceilings, it kind of goes into nothingness.
Right, but so this is where
it gets a little confusing.
Yeah, so we're upside down. So we would be above the dome, or
yes, no. So I guess my brain actually broke it there. No, you are walking on the domes. And what is above you would be where the water is just darkness. Where yes, my brain broke it in my own head.
Okay, no worries. I just wanted to make sure.
No, you thank you for the confirmation. But it's basically the picture I just put in our chat, but upside down, where you're walking on the rounded parts.
That's the exact same cistern I've used for reference.
You know why? Because it's the first image that comes up when you look up cistern.
Yeah.
But again, the pillars go up into nothingness, and there's just the brambles growing up them. Finally, your other companions will get there, but before that, what was your perception check?
14.
So yeah, so you don't see any active movement of oozes or insectoids or anything like that. It's mostly, this place is really overcome by these thorns. I will say with a 14, you notice there is significantly less of the red membrane on these thorns. It's there, still present, but you've basically noticed now a gradient of effect where you were in the most affected chamber to a medium affected chamber to a lightly affected chamber. Almost as if you're getting to a more pure version of these roots. Though they are still fighting against this corruption.
So Jacquet will start wandering around the side of this chamber as the others kind of join, and he's heading towards the night.
Okay. I'll say the others get to this space as you're like halfway across the cistern, following a wraparound. So again, for you all, you see this upside down cistern going up into a void with the brambles climbing into nothingness. And you can see across on the opposite side is this briared night beneath what is essentially an iron gate that is bleeding light into this space. So this space is actually pretty well lit. You know, mechanically it's regular. Like, you don't have disadvantage. Septimus can see like normal, but it is dark aesthetically.
He is like on the quote unquote ceiling like us, right? He's
Yes.
not like flipped up. Okay.
Yeah, so like if the gravity wasn't reversed, he would be like hanging from the ceiling.
Got it.
He looks as though he's on his knees. And
is it a corpse or is it somebody like?
It's not moving right now. But it's a knight in plate armor with a tattered green cloak covered in these brambles completely over his waist and sort of wrapping over his shoulders. He has one arm that's sort of like almost like he fell to his knees and held himself up with a glaive. And you can see that glaive in his left hand. And Jacquet, as you're getting closer, you can see a shield laid out in front of him, like he dropped it, also kind of covered in the briars. It's as you get closer, Jacquet, I'll say 20 feet from the knight, that it shifts. And you can see sort of like the head pop up and sort of twist its neck, as you can see brambles sort of breaking and then regrowing around him. And him trying to move the glaved arm, but he can't. Before his head fully looks up to you, Jacquet, and you can kind of just dimly see a red glow underneath the visor of the helmet of what you might presume are eyes that glow a dull red.
Whoa, easy there, friend. We're just trying to get through. We didn't mean to disturb you. Do you mind?
Jacquet says, gesturing to the grate above the figure.
That, touched by ordaining will.
Excuse me?
He attempts to stand up, and the brambles keep him down, as you can hear your friends behind you entering now. And he looks past you to them. And he's almost like looking directly at Septimus. And Septimus, you hear this, not in your head, but as if you're much closer to him. Almost like it's booming through this chamber. Thou art touched by ordaining will. Dwindling disorder and sprouting sweetling. With thou art sick, with the pox of mine ardent locked fathers.
Out of the rot. Do you know how to get rid of it?
The head kind of shifts and looks to each of you. Those of you in the back of the room, do you join Jacquette up closer with the figure?
Yeah.
As I'm walking forward, can I kind of just like grip my Rod of the Pact Keeper and regain that spell slot I used?
Sure.
Thanks.
Pox, plague, vitriol, woven by ill-fated men, meddling sorcerers, accursed wizards, polluting the blood of mine heavenly fathers.
Your heavenly father. And what father may that be? For whom God do you serve?
I have lay dormant for centuries in this belly, until the meddling of wizard folk. I serve the circle of gleam and rot, the circle of the gleaming flower and the gnawing root, divine twins, mine heavenly fathers.
So does anyone know what the fuck this guy's talking about?
You wish to pass beyond this chamber?
I got that, yes. Please, thank you.
What he said with the father's gloom and rot. Did I know anything about that?
Give me a religion check.
Sean,
Yeah.
could I, at this point, like an emerging baby from a womb?
Yes.
I guess we would probably prompt him that like something's going on.
Yeah, you can scruff me like a cat when you need to, too. Reach in the bag.
Well, Fion has the deck.
Yeah, Fear and I think wouldn't even notice you're doing stuff. If you start rumbling in there, he might just like pick up the bag and like flip it upside down.
And then 500 pounds of water come out, flooding the chamber and killing us all.
Well, I'd only hold it upside down for the point where Bruce comes out.
Septimus, what'd you get?
A 2.
2. You've not heard of the Circle of Gleam and Rot, nor these Heavenly Fathers. And he does, it's plural, Heavenly Fathers. Who he is called the Divine Twins.
Have I ever heard of them, Sean?
Anyone who's proficient in religion can roll a religion check.
Damn.
What about Jack of all trades and religion?
You know what? I'll allow it. It'll be actually yes. Jacquette, yes. Give me that roll.
5.
Jacquette, you run like a Rolodex in your mind of all the religion classes you weren't paying attention in back in Gwenvalier.
Oh, she was really cute. Oh, yeah. No, I kind of just watched him the whole class. Nope, nothing there.
Saskia, as this thing is talking to them, and as you're regenerating your spell slot by cuddling your rod or whatever it would be.
I'm subtly gripping it, but yes, go on.
You would hear your patron sort of hiss in your mind.
What's the matter?
Ancient, forgotten beings.
Okay. Dangerous?
Extremely. But not... I don't know. This place is foul.
You don't fucking say.
Do not drink the water.
Wasn't planning on it.
You need us to get you out of there?
Hold
The
on.
head sort of shifts and looks to Fear, and as sort of each movement, like almost like he's trying to stand at attention, but the briars pull him back down.
Fearn would put the mask down when he sees that he's looking at him.
Don't offer him help yet. We don't know exactly what he serves. He just said his fathers were lean and rot. Are you saying that you're the one that caused the devastation that is here? The sickness? And why are the brambles holding you?
He's sort of, the head looks down at the brambles across his body as he looks up back at you, Septimus, to answer you. Mine lords, Heskos and Ladan, would not cause such rot. Meddling wizard folk, abusing mine lord's ardent bound. I awoke when their meddling ruined mine heavenly fathers. And their very meddling ended their blessings. Thine will to resist the cut of thorn, the touch is spoiled by this foul elixir. And he attempts to stand again, and he's not attempting to stand in like a "I'm gonna stab you" way, but he's literally just trying to stand up, and the briars keep him at bay. And you see that one free hand he sort of does sort of raise up to the void above you, and then like looks as his head churns back to a point almost to an unnatural state where you can see this elongated neck as he's looking back to the lit grate, and his hand goes from the void to the grate in direction of pointing as he just sort of cries out, "Why hast thou forsaken me, mine heavenly fathers? I served with the knight who art verdant. I served loyally to the end, and I've awoken now. What is your will? Why bring these touched to me?"
Maybe their will is for you to help us, right? That's why you've awakened. We've come here, and now your heavenly father has told you to help us. So what do you say? Please?
And just to clarify, too, the garb that he's wearing with the cloak, is that the same one that Norlin was wearing, right?
Norlin? No.
It's not. Okay.
No, Norlin had his own kind of colors and filigree on his.
Is it the one that Balfour was wearing?
I mean, his general look is very similar to a Green Knight, and he did just say knights who are verdant.
Verdant. Yeah.
But he also said he was dormant for centuries.
Right.
Do you want out of the thorns?
No, I
Fear-
said, no. Go back to what I said. Your heavenly fathers told you to help us. So would you like to help us, please?
Whatever it is that binds you here has corrupted this land. We need your help to free this land of its curse and save the people within it.
What do you know of Blessed Word?
Answer my question first. Jacques almost stomps on the ground.
The head sort of moves on a swivel with each of you saying something in this, where it like turned to Jacques, then turned to Fear, and then turned to Septimus, and then returned to Jacques as he pouts. And again, there's just sort of this like every movement also sort of like puffs out a little bit of that miasma from earlier.
Gross.
And also like from beneath the plates of his armor, you can see that like dust coming out as he looks to Jacques, and those sort of dull red eyes are just barely visible behind the little holes in the visor. I was awoken to serve my heavenly fathers, and thou'rt ordning touched. But you is the free arm goes out pointing to Septimus. You are touched by many ordning wills, conflicting.
You never told us that, Septimus. Whose will have you been touching, Or
I don't
being
know what
touched
HP
by?
speaks. I only have one devotion, which I follow profusely.
His arm sort of stretches out, and he starts to look to each of you. He almost looks like like a broken robot in the way he's moving. As a hand points to Sass. And you are bound by a servant of an ordning will. Or child of an ordning will. You are touched by the consort of an ordning will. You were all touched with disorder.
Excuse me, I'm very orderly, Jacques says as he straightens his jacket.
Not the filth of your cloth, of your spirit.
Oh, hey, now you're going after my spirit? Not cool, man.
And they look to Fearn, and they say, Bardly's champion is correct. I'm awoken to help serve my ordning. My heavenly father's will. Forsaken as they are. And he stands, and at this point, you see the briars stretched as he tries to rise with all of his strength. And you start to hear them snapping and twisting and bending, and he starts to stand and stand and stand. And where you can see now that he rises up to about 8 feet tall.
Oh.
And he picks up that shield on the ground, which you can now see is itself like 5 feet long. Great shield, as the glaive at the top of his blade glimmers with the same golden light as the thorns. As you can see, the briars all fall off of him.
Yes, please forgive my blasphemous and forsaken friends. It turns out that they're so corrupt that they actually cancel each other out and actually turn to something good every once in a while.
You see Jacques look away, and a little tear comes out of his eyes. He goes, "That sounds like something I would say."
But he sort of then kind of waves the shielded arm and goes, "Thou Without almond spirits don't chooseth always the corruption that touches it. And then he looks directly at Sass. There's some enter the service willingly.
So about that help you said you were definitely going to give us. Jacquet says as he starts to reach for his crossbow.
Yes. If you want to return this land to the way it was, I think then our interests are aligned. Regardless of what we may be touched by, we act on our own accord.
Fearn just slowly gets in between him and Saskia.
We just walk by this guy.
Oh, he's got reach with that thing.
See how big he is?
Yeah, but like,
Bruce, I will say you look up and there is a grate that is 15 feet up off the ground that this guy is clearly essentially a sentinel of from the looks of it.
What
like-
is your title, Fair Knight? What do they call you?
He
My
looks to you. My name. I am but a verdant knight. My memory does not serve me. Only my will. And you, how cometh you upon this pact?
Are you looking to me or
Sass.
Sass.
I don't remember. I don't remember, and I wouldn't say that it was willing, but I guess maybe it was. I don't know. And in my head, I'll think, do you know this guy?
Those who taketh packs upon their backs, warlocks as they're known, are more likely victims than predators. Despite thou's touched souls with various ordning wills, I will let you pass.
Oh! Great!
thanks.
And he, who's holding the blessed warp?
Me.
He comes up to you, Septimus, and kneels down to be at your height. Only because thou bear the flowers of mine heavenly fathers.
A gift we were given to hopefully help remedy the lands here. We were told of a special incantation, a ritual, to burn at the lighthouse. That the magic within this flower may shine and give light to this area again.
Thou'dst go against the ordning wills.
My ordering will is not. No.
What does that phrase
Now, why it
mean?
has no conflict with such magic. You act as if you know my wants or desires.
Thou, all men, have lost your understanding. Perhaps for the better. Over these centuries past. And he taps the glaive. And you all would see sort of a sudden rush of water come from the void above. As you all be swept up into this space flowing with water, and you feel a tumult before then suddenly it all kind of straightens out, and you find yourselves in knee-deep water in the gravitationally appropriate cistern with the grate ahead of you, but now closer to the ground and not 15 feet above.
Is he still on the ceiling?
You don't see him.
Oh no. Is he in the reflection of the water?
He's a vampire.
No, that'd be use a reverse vampire.
But you would hear almost echoing from the cistern from a sourceless place, just sort of bouncing off the walls. Complete thine quest, or suffer the briars of mine heavenly fathers.
Let's keep moving.
So that guy was really weird, right? Like, what the fuck?
Jacques walks towards the grate.
Thankfully, he wasn't an adversary.
Without the blessed wart, I think he may have been.
This area that we're in
Yes.
now, like, is there defined dimensions now, or is it like endless?
It's defined dimensions now.
Does it seem like a safe place?
There's still thorns and briar growing on the walls. It could be. It's up to you guys to kind of determine that. There wasn't any presence of anything in there before, but it also could be that the passages earlier were preventing this from having creatures come into it.
No.
Everything generally feels more accessible than it was before for both you and anything that exists in these tunnels.
I know. I can see it again, which is nice.
I'm gonna take a walk over to the grate.
As you approach the grate, you would hear in your head, but not even your head, again, over the water, like an echo, the voice of the verdant knight. Mine brothers in the next chamber have lost their minds to the wizard's pox.
Uh-oh.
Great.
But it is your path to the tower.
Wizard's pox. Do I know exactly what that is?
The context of what it is entirely in whatever all the things that he just said to you. The only way you would know what it is the sentences he just said to you in the last 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like whatever's ahead, we're going into a fight. Should we maybe rest again here?
I was thinking that myself. I'm hoping that Verdant Knight would not take issue with it. He obviously wants us to complete what we need. Sure, I can understand we need to be at full strength. And this seems like the safest area. Well-lit area.
If we wait too long, won't Almira be worried about us? Maybe we can message her and let her know if we're not too far away.
Well, that'd be up to Bruce, but I'd say our priority is definitely making sure we can fulfill our goal. Because Almira will be waiting indefinitely if we don't succeed.
Yeah, I'm not too concerned about her. She'll be fine.
Yeah, she's fine.
I suppose. I mean, if you think it's right to rest, I can keep guard. I'm still ready to go, I think, but just want to get this done as quickly as possible. But I understand the need for, planning.
Mm.
Maybe we should, create some fortifications just in case there are some issues. Bruce, can you do that earth moldy thingy?
About that
what?
tower,
Block off the entrance we came in from.
could you make that tower?
I could.
That
Probably
might
not
be
here.
a nice, convenient place. Why? The DM said, the voices said that it's a tall ceiling, 30 by 60 feet.
Yeah, I could. If I do, I can't do it again later.
Well, maybe we take a longer rest, since I feel like many of us really need our apples back, and our pears and oranges too. Whatever resources may have been spent.
Pears and oranges. That's a good argument.
But
Argue with rest.
Yeah.
I will say, one way or another, this space is the safest you've come across, but it by no means feels perfectly safe.
Sure.
It is no different from some of the previous chambers you've been in the sense that it has access points, and that it's connected to the general rot in the area. Now, a tower, of course, has got its own benefits there.
Yeah.
But you
Can't
are
imagine.
within the dungeon, I would say.
I can't imagine we find another area that would be safer. It's not like we're going to stumble across a warm tavern. Some nice
You
comfy
actually
beds.
don't know that. There have been tales out of the yawning portal. Oh, let me tell you the tales.
I'm actually
Especially in a
scared
place
if
that is spatially displaced.
we keep going, I'm definitely gonna die.
Feats
All
might
right.
show
I
up.
should rest.
If not you, one of us. Like him.
Well,
Jacques says, pointing to Septimus, who still looks bad.
Ugh.
I'm not laughing at any of Jacques' jokes.
Oh,
So yeah,
just like
you
normal.
can choose what kind of rest you want to take here and the means that you're going to take it.
all right.
Uh,
I could spend a lot of time and I guess fortify as best as I can in this place, but not as
I
best
think
as
the
I normally
tower
can.
is probably good enough, and then we just deal with whatever comes after that. Because at that point, then you're taking more time that we could be resting. And if the idea is to get through this as quickly as possible,
yeah.
the tower serves as magical protection that we can be within.
Yeah. Just what if the grade ahead is a little bit better? I don't know. I just don't like this rot. It's a little.
This whole area will be riddled with rot until we finish what we need to do.
All right.
We
all
can
right.
go
I'll make
through the
tower.
next chamber, but we're gonna fight something.
Exactly. We
Maybe
can't-
he's talking about like beyond that. Maybe I don't know.
Bruce, he's not.
Okay.
Can you just
all
leave
right.
the tower, please?
Okay. All right. I make the tower with the means that I can. Based on how I described before, I can't. Bruce has a difficult time putting his little miniature house or tower in the water, and then tracing around in the water.
And you create your Bruce's
Bruce's little
tower. Bruce's Galder's
And
tower.
This is little.
Bruce's Scalders Tower. And it's got a little dam in the front, so no water can get in.
Nice.
Okay. So what starts as sort of magically spectral then solidifies into the tower you're all used to.
Yeah.
with a little dam to keep the water from getting inside of it.
Perception.
So, you head into the tower. The air, while still, because it's an artificial tower, at least is clean when you step inside.
Oh, by the celestial heavens, I never thought this would feel so good.
Yeah.
Did you make a bathhouse upstairs?
Yeah, it's a bathhouse. I also put a thermostat in the
Jacques
first and
is
second floor.
stripping down to his skivvies as he scampers up the ladder staircase, rope, whatever, to get into a bath.
It's
Fear joins them.
Yeah, it's big enough to hold a lot of people. So
You didn't give us individual baths?
no, it's easier
You
this way
can't.
with the limited space I have.
Jacques is like in the tub, just across from Fear, and just like staring daggers, like
6 feet apart.
Bruce, I don't remember. Do we have like a communal sleeping space downstairs, or do we all have
Yeah,
our
it's
own
like
rooms?
bunk beds.
Bunk beds, great. I'm gonna go find top bunk bed, and I'm going to immediately go curl up in the corner of a top bunk bed.
Yeah, Septimus would probably, as much as he wants to go lie down, throw on that phone when you're sick, have just a nice hot shower or bath to get rid of that vomit off of him.
And you guys are taking a long rest, correct?
We're gonna attempt it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna wait
Right.
for them to be done with the bathhouse so that Bruce can have his alone time.
Yeah. Bruce.
What are you gonna do in there, Bruce?
Yeah, you've
Why
been
you
in
gotta be
water.
alone?
You've been in water the majority of the past couple sessions.
That's
You need to
true.
wash.
Yeah, that's true, Bruce.
True, he's pretty clean.
But he's not relaxed.
That's true.
Septimus,
Oh, good.
when you
died.
rest, give me a Constitution saving throw.
Yeah, con saving throw to rest. Yeah.
It's to get rid of your bed.
Can I give him +5?
That's a nat 1, baby.
I
Oh
need
my
you guys need
God.
to discuss it.
Oh,
Because the thing is, you guys don't actually know the
Yeah.
mechanics of this sickness, so you can't just add
Sure.
things to the rolls because you think he's gonna. Like, you
yeah,
need to do-
that was a shot in the dark. I didn't think.
No,
of
I
it.
know. Well, it doesn't matter
immediately-
because he got a nat one.
Yeah.
Cowabunga, baby.
Alex
All right,
would have said
Septimus.
that no matter what the roll was.
I know. Septimus.
Septimus rolling any percent speed death on this dungeon.
Jesus. Okay. Septimus, you do not lose your point of exhaustion, and you gain a second point of exhaustion.
Fucking cracker.
You only
Jack.
gain whatever your long rest health distance is right now. You only recover half of it. So if you have 75 out of 100 health, you don't gain 25. You gain 12 back.
And yeah. Yeehaw.
So throughout the night, you would hear Septimus coughing and hacking up a lung and struggling. Yes, you do level up to level 10 with this long rest.
Oh shit.
Except for Septimus.
Yeah, I actually go down a level.
But the night is tense, regardless of the relaxation of this, because you have a member who seems to be dying in the evening. Despite the cleanliness of the still air and the warmth of the blankets and the freshness, I imagine this whole space smells like a dryer sheet.
Oh yeah, yeah. Lavender.
Yeah. It is marked and marred somewhat by the clear degenerating of your companion. When you wake up tensely the next day, he is pale and his veins almost show dark underneath his skin. Red bags under his eyes, a fever. as he's got 2 levels of exhaustion.
I imagine like standing over him, the 4 of us are all like crowded around, and Beckwood's like,
Bruce, isn't there anything you might have that could help him?
Well, I'm prepping my what I know today, my spells. I just got to think about it a little bit more. Maybe I
Okay.
can whip up something.
I mean, Septimus, isn't there anything you can do for yourself?
As he's like laying so pathetically in the bed.
Uh,
I mean, I feel like we've come through this and gotten stronger for it.
yes, I know. Give me a second. I'm leveling up. Maybe this would be a good time for a break.
Yeah, let's go to a break.
Sounds good.
So you guys can finish your level ups and see what if this was a no lose situation.
or a loser.
I will be back shortly. Welcome back, everybody. Our players just leveled up because they decided to jam a long rest in before their next fight, which I can't blame them for. But of course, putting a big magical beacon in a dungeon for 8 hours is a move.
It is.
It paid off, Cotton.
Paid off Cotton. Yeah, Septimus has 2
For most of
exhaustion now.
for 80% of the squad.
This is a win-win for Fear. Now we don't have to stealth anymore.
Okay. All right. So you all wake up to your new gifts and talents and not nearly, on his way to death, Septimus.
So, Sean. Femi,
Yes.
everybody's waking up, not overcoming the sickness that he's inflicted on himself. And kind of also the conversation that he had with the knight before, saying that he's tainted by this ordning spirit or something.
Mm-hmm.
And acting, I guess, against it or somehow. He's starting to quite question his own faith a little bit. I like to think that Septimus has kind of a nightmare sequence where he's second guessing, be like, am I questioning his faith, questioning his devotion, wondering what's more, but tries to remain faithful and focus on all that he's learned so far. And in an attempt for, I guess, proof, essentially, or like an affirmation.
Yes.
Septimus would like a divine intervention.
Okay.
Or I'd like to attempt, obviously.
Well, of course.
That didn't take very long.
Do you have to roll low for this? Because
Oh,
if
you
so,
do.
you
You
got
do.
it in the bag.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I think you're misunderstanding the nature of his luck.
Yeah, that's.
So, Septimus, what I need you to do is describe the assistance you seek in whatever way you wish it to be roleplay wise. It could be a silent prayer you mutter to yourself. It can be a full ritual that you partake in. What does this look like when you seek affirmation and assistance from Machina?
In this, I guess, if it's still kind of in this nightmares or dream sequence, Septimus is kind of just like floating completely in a void. As he understands that to be like just nothingness, like a complete void of all knowledge and stuff. But he sees just like a shimmer, or like a little, essentially just like a star, and he's calling out to it, and what he perceives to be Machina. All figuratively, like it doesn't have to like it just be light, but just it's knowledge shining upon what he has, or to pierce through the veil.
Absolutely.
But in not white light, kind of still just because that's what he knows that much, and maybe subconsciously too. This is his closest friend, the pale blue of like Sal's eyes. That
Absolutely.
color.
And what
He sees
when
the
you reach
faintest
out to
amount in the
this?
distance. and I reach out to it.
A giant Windows logo appears in the spinning wheel.
Asking out, crying and begging that since the defeat, since being in seclusion and coming here, it has felt that Septimus has become stagnant in what he's learned. It really hasn't, nothing much more has, he feels maybe a little bit of self-doubt, and maybe that's what he was perceiving the knight to say, is that you're not acting in your own devotion because it should be about ascertaining as much knowledge as possible, and you've been lacking thereof. But I think he's just asking for, not specifically to the spell, but wanting an affirmation of, give me that spark back, that yearning to want to learn as much as possible, to live by your light or live by the way that you live.
And are there any mechanical asks that you have?
Mechanical ask would be to cleanse whatever
Yes.
this rot is that is affecting him and giving him exhaustion.
Yes.
To get rid of the exhaustion and to
Machina
be rid of
cleanse
whatever's-
me.
Yes, Machina cleanse me. Oh, Machina cleanse me.
Give me your D100 roll. You need a 1 through 10. Something in there. So high. So high. Septimus, this void empties of that light. And for a moment you feel almost like you're drifting in nothingness that Lacuna showed you. And it's painful. You feel the sickness. And it's almost like this is when that second level of exhaustion kicks in.
Yeah.
And those of you around Septimus would hear him in that rest struggling. Like I almost imagine like in his sleep he's whispering, "Please, Machina." As you would just hear the verdant knight's voice. Thou'lt reach for your sprouting sweetling. But the discordant echoes of other ordning wills cloud your place. For that brief moment, you felt the touch of your faith with that little light. And you wake up.
Are you on a top bunk or a bottom bunk?
Bottom bunk. I'm on a bottom bunk.
Bottom bunk. Okay.
He's a bottom bunk boy.
I will climb down from my top bunk and I will go and sit by Septimus's side and kind of just perch on the edge of the bed as he's sitting there coughing, and I'll just hold his hand and just
It's very
provide,
clammy.
yeah, moral support. You can't fight like this, Septimus.
We can't stay here. You all got the rest you needed.
But you didn't. You can't go any further, you'll die.
You don't know that.
Jacques says as he walks up.
What would you have me do? The sooner we can get the ritual off and get some cleansing light back into this area, hopefully it can radiate to me as well.
Do you think you can... If we get you through, can you do the ritual? Do you have enough strength for that?
If you can get me there, I think I could still do it.
So then that's your goal. Then is we'll defend and we'll protect you from whatever the fuck is waiting there. You don't touch him. That's our job. We'll get you there. Right? Looking around at everybody else.
Yeah.
Fearn puts his hand on Saskia's shoulder and says, I'll, don't think I forgot about your interest. I'm forgiving it one more time.
What? Oh.
A little bit of
You get in
brevity comes
trouble,
over the room.
You get in trouble, Septimus. You use that firewall spell. You don't worry about us. You protect yourself first. We'll be okay. We don't have your, luck.
If only you could fit in a bag.
And you! And then, like, almost like pulling him aside, but not really. Jacquet's like, you gotta help him out, man.
I don't know how to do. I'm running out of metal plates here. I gotta get back to the shop.
That's with the metal plates and just, I don't know, watch his back. You know? I don't know what this guy's deal is, but...
Well, he won't let me. He's got an arm back there, and he's got cloak over it. No, he has let me. I've seen his back before. It's rather pimply. But
It's with this one comment from Bruce where you all laugh a little bit, and maybe the lavender air is making you forget what awaits you outside, that you all would suddenly hear this loud crack. And Bruce and everyone, you look up and you can see the ceiling of your tower is
oh, what the fuck?
cracked across the center. And you can see from that large crack or smaller cracks that then you would see seeping in are these little globules of this pitch black ooze.
Everybody get
Where you
out!
can see at the head of each little globule is this little white light, as it's almost like a swarm of them starts to eat your tower.
Oh, come on! Everybody out! Everybody out!
I'll help Septimus out.
Jacquet's already out the door.
Yeah.
I put his arm over my shoulder and come on.
And as you rush out the front door of this tower, you step out across the dam and inch back into the waters of this, and you notice with your steps like swarms of leeches within the water. You can see your disruption causes these little oozes that are like the size of maybe a small fish each swarm away from your feet and then swarm past you, and almost like an overwhelming flood move over and into the tower as they just all start to slowly eat the magic of the tower. As you can see, it's like a big chunk of it just sort of dissipates as these amalgams feast.
Let's go.
Glad we got our 8 hours in.
They're moving through this tower quickly because the tower is actively dispelling itself as it's losing its foundation. As then the last chunk starts to as you head towards the grate.
I have to make another miniature house now.
How many magic items does everyone have in their inventory?
Oh shit.
What are you
Got a lot.
considering a magic item?
Anything that's italicized and colored. In
I don't
inventory?
consider like the things like say your basically anything that is a magic item that's not like say Septimus's gun, that is a specialized thing that's not, it serves like a magic item but it isn't one. So
My
anything
amulet?
anything you have to attune to,
Shit.
or is it a tunable item?
On what if
Only
it's not in
attunable?
this
1,
plane of
2,
existence?
3.
Got
Uh,
4.
I have 2 items, but up to whatever rules you want to use. Maybe my arms.
I have 4. My pearl, my rod, my scimitar, and my amulet.
I have
Yeah.
3, not including my mask or my hammer, because they're both non-existent at the moment.
I would normally have more, but I left majority or the other half in my other bag with Lollyrock.
With Lollyrock, yeah.
So I've only got 4.
Okay.
Are
Jacquet?
you counting potions?
No.
Okay. Well, if we're only counting attunables, then I have 4.
Okay.
Magic items.
Fearn, I do count your mask and hammer because you are attuned to them.
Oh, if it's only the ones that I'm attuned to.
No, it's
though.
anything attunable.
Okay. But they're not on me. They're in the ether.
They're associated with you, though.
Okay.
So how many do you have total?
5.
A large swath of this swarm begins to swim towards Fearn as the next biggest source of magic for them to consume.
I Eldritch blasted.
Give me a initiative roll for everyone.
Here we go.
I didn't get a word in, but I wanted to make I wanted to prep my traps too this morning, in addition to when I prep my spells. If that's all right.
I'll allow it.
Initiative is an ability check, technically, right?
Yes. 20, 25?
20.
15 and 19?
19.
10 to 14? 5 to 9?
9.
9. You can go.
Okay.
Septimus, what you got?
3.
One of these days, we're going
my
to do a
God.
session with golf rules.
Yeah, I'm real ball of par. I'm birdieing this fucking session.
All right, so just for everyone's sort of understanding, this entire space is filled with these creatures. They are considered several swarms. Now, there is the grate there, and they do seem, most of them right now are still consumed with the crumbling tower. There's basically one that is locked onto Fearn, one swarm of them, and is rushing towards him. So the amalgam is going to go first. And it's going to rush to Fearn and sort of just be all-consuming around him. It is going to suddenly start to surge up with magic suddenly in its space. So you all ran out sort of at the same time in various... Jacquet first. So let's just get the order of how people ran out. Imagine Jacquet was first, Fearn and Bruce were probably second, and then Sass with carrying Septimus was last.
Mhm.
Okay. So I'm going to say that this surge that is happening is going to affect Jacquet, Fearn, and Bruce. And I need the three of you to give me dexterity saving throws.
Oh.
What did you all get? DC is 15.
Nat 20 for 22.
Nice.
17.
Nice. Bruce, 2? Okay. Bruce,
Hell yeah.
Nerds.
Those who succeed will take half damage. Those who failed will take full damage. I need each of you to roll me a d6.
So I have evasion now, which means I take no damage when I
Hell
succeed.
yeah.
Should I
You're
still
good
roll
then.
the d6? Okay.
I mean, you can for flavor to see what you're dodging completely.
Okay.
Fionn, what'd you get?
I'm rolling amazingly. I got a 1.
Well, this is just
Oh,
to
yeah,
determine
brother.
the type of damage you're going to take.
I'm taking 6. Whatever 6 is.
All right,
And
Fionn.
Jacques got 5.
Fionn, 23 acid damage, and then halved.
Yoo-hoo.
Bruce, what'd you get?
6.
6?
I'm
Okay.
gonna have it again with absorb elements.
Okay.
Because 26 is a lot.
It is a lot.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
not-
Bruce,
not wrong.
I rolled
Wait.
insanely well there. What
Was
number did you get,
26
Bruce?
after the half?
I got a 6.
It was before the half.
Oh, okay.
Bruce, you were gonna
Less
take
concerned.
30 necrotic damage,
Oh God!
and then I
So
guess
about that long rest, can we go do that?
Yeah.
Jacques, what did you get? Just so you know what you're dazzlingly dodging.
5.
So the necrotic energy sort of swarms up around Jacques and sort of misses him as it lunges down, and then just sort of like a wave rips back up right into Bruce's face.
Sorry about
that he
that.
takes the full-blown blow of, as this thing just sort of shook and had this wild surge shoot out of it before coming back down to and for the sake of its size, it is a large swarm. Okay, Jacques, you are up.
Okay. Where'd it go? Target.
And Fionn, you're on deck.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So is this like this creature? I assume that it's a creature. It's got a speed and stuff like that.
Yep.
All right. So Jacques is going to look at it and go, "Not today, Mr. Ruse, or yesterday." And then he's gonna throw his dagger of lightning return. It wasn't a good
Awesome.
quip. It just was a quip. For a 24 to hit.
That'll hit.
Are any of my allies engaged?
It is.
with this?
Fionn is literally within it, so yes.
All right, cool. Then I will roll my larger amount of sneak attack dice. So that's going to be 22 magical piercing, 1 lightning, and its speed is reduced by 10.
Very nice. As you see,
I-
your dagger shoots in, and I imagine it's almost, despite the fact that it's mostly the piercing damage, it's almost like the lightning is what's doing more, as it almost like shocks out and kills several of the small tadpole oozes, dealing a sizable amount of damage to this thing.
Am I engaged with this creature?
No, you're 5 feet away from it.
Okay, cool. How far away from the grate am I?
You are very close. You're literally right on it. It's 5 feet away. There wasn't that much space between you all in this. It's just they are literally
Okay.
everywhere. So the second you stepped into the water, you stepped into one of these swarms.
All right. I don't know what to use my bonus action on for once. All right. Jacquette's just gonna yell to. Who's up next?
Fionn.
He's gonna yell to Fionn. Perfect.
go for the throat.
which makes no sense in this situation, but it does give you the help action, so you have advantage on your next attack against this creature, if you so choose to. As Jacques will use his full movement to get up to the grate and prepare, that's all he can do.
You got it, boss. Fearin, you are up. You are standing within the swarm.
Okay, Sean. I don't think like Afiran's gonna do this anyway because it seems like the right thing to do. But I as me, I have a question, which is: are oozes organic or inorganic? Because elements
oozes.
are inorganic.
Yeah.
Like element, like periodic table element things, like an organic something is something with carbon, essentially.
Yeah. What are you asking?
So
what is the real question here?
I'm casting Shatter, and it deals extra damage to inorganic.
No, oozes are
something.
an organic ooze. They are an ooze category. They're not constructs.
But I'm saying that as an elemental, it probably has both organic
They're not
and
oozes.
inorganic.
Oozes are not
comprising.
elementals. They are oozes. It's a separate category of creature.
Okay, fair enough.
Inorganic materials such as stone, crystal, or metal.
Yeah, I really only count that against constructs, machina, or
Okay.
like tree
A
people.
golem.
Yeah, or a golem. Yeah, but oozes are an organic material.
So, like, what's the difference between an earth elemental and a stone golem?
Nothing. I'd probably count it against an elemental, but it's this is certainly not a situation where Shatter is going to count in that way. Because oozes, again,
Okay.
are not elementals. They're oozes.
Can't blame a guy for trying. All right, so I'm casting Shatter on the grouping that is closest to us because I didn't like it.
What's the radius on Shatter?
So it is an area of 10 feet.
Okay.
A 10-foot radius sphere.
Okay, you could cast that where it doesn't hit your allies or you, because this thing is a large swarm.
Would it hit any other swarms?
Yes, it would. This is like, unless you guys really tarry here, this is the most consequential swarm. But so you can hit. There is one other swarm that you could hit with this. There's essentially 4 swarms here.
Mm-hmm. I don't think we're tarrying, but this is this
might
is
as well get more than one swarm if you can.
Yep. Okay,
All right,
so
what kind of saving throw is it?
Constitution. Wait, hold on, Sean. Hold on, Sean. Hold on, Sean. Hold on, Sean. Hold on. Don't roll. Don't roll.
I already rolled, but tell me what you're saying. Sass, you're on deck.
I want to attack first because then I could use my Eldritch thing to give them disadvantage.
What Eldritch thing?
I have Eldritch Strike at level 10.
What does that do?
Says when I hit them with an attack before I cast a spell. Actually, no, because then I gotta use my action surge so early.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. Like, this is an action spell, not a bonus action cantrip. Through your other Eldritch feature.
My other Eldritch feature, is only for cantrips.
So yeah, I would you're either using this or attacking.
Damn. I think I gotta attack. I think I gotta use the spell.
Okay. So con save?
Yep.
Okay. That's a 23.
Sheesh. Okay. Well, that's
For
definitely
the first
gonna
one.
pass.
The second one gets a nat 1. So one of them fails, one of them succeeds.
Okay. Which means that it's 3d8 thunder damage. For 18 total thunder damage. Halved for the other one, so that would be 9 thunder damage.
Okay. You see these creatures quiver again. They will wriggle with thunder. It's like if someone really loud screamed at a Jello mold.
Or farted at it.
That's what basically just happened. Anything else, Fearn? Before we move on to Sass and Bruce?
I'm gonna use my movement action to get to the grate, and I'm gonna
Okay.
try and bust it open and jump inside.
You will take an attack of opportunity from the ooze that you are within for a 21 to hit.
Okay, I'm gonna cast Shield to make that not hit. Oh, I already used my reaction?
Yeah.
Wait, no, it's the beginning of
No,
my
you
turn.
didn't.
It's your
You're
turn.
out.
I don't think you can use the reaction on your turn.
Yeah, you can.
Can you?
Yeah, you can.
The
So
You
start
can
of
use your
your turn
reaction
is the
anytime there's a
set of-
trigger. You can use your reaction.
Oh, I know.
No, you
Learn
can't
something
use
new
your
every day.
reaction if you used it in the same round as your last.
What do you know? Look at your dice rolls.
Yeah.
Yeah, stupid piece of dice.
3 spell
Um,
slots down the
yep.
drain. We're
No,
cooking
you're-
with fire
you're
here,
good there.
folks.
You're good there.
Yeah.
An bonus action. All right. So yes, you can get to the grate. You don't have any actions left to try to bust it open yet.
Aw.
Sass, then Bruce, then Septimus.
All right. As Septimus and I are coming out of the ruins of the tower, is there a swarm like in front of us or like
Yes,
near
it's
us?
the one that Fearn was
Yes.
just enveloped in.
Is he still enveloped in it?
He ran out of it. He
Okay.
slurped
All
out
right.
of it.
All right, great. So I'm going to, with one arm around Septimus, and I'm going to throw out my other hand, and I'm going to call upon that ordaining will that lives within me. And I'm going to kind of like dive my hand down and then reach it back up like that. And I'm going to cast my new spell, Evard's Black Tentacles.
Mhm.
And so these, as the spell description says, squirming ebony tentacles fill a 20-foot square on the ground that you can see within range. For the duration,
Ooh.
these tentacles turn the ground in that area into difficult terrain. And then this is where my question is: when a creature enters the affected area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn in there. So my question is, when I summon it like that, does that consider
Yeah.
it starting its turn in there?
The creatures that are within
Yes.
it.
Yes.
No, it would be at the start of its turn that it would be affected by the damage. Because it's a
Okay.
creature that starts its turn in the area and is already restrained. When a creature enters the affected area for the first time on a
First
turn or
time.
starts
So
its turn there.
technically,
So
it's
it would. This
entering
won't.
the affected area.
It's not entering because it's not moving into it. This is going to affect it on the start of its next turn.
Okay.
This
Alright,
is this is of a family of spells that have this sort of quirk here, where it
Yeah.
only happens at the start of their next turn.
Okay,
It's similar
that's okay.
to like spiritual guardians or
Mhm.
whatever, the spells that they will happen because they're not unless the creatures have a specific reactionary movement or legendary action to move. But the rules are it will not happen until the
Okay.
start of its turn.
Well,
I have a
still,
question about that, but we'll talk about it later.
Okay.
the point here is I want to contain them within these squirming tentacles and hopefully with the damage squish them. And
Okay.
then I want to drag Septimus around it.
Yeah, so it's gonna take you longer to get around because this chamber is only
it's
30
big.
feet wide. So you're blocking most of the path for yourself,
Sorry.
and
It's
also
the first time Saskia's using this, and she doesn't know
Bruce
how
as
to
well will also be blocked by this.
properly use it.
Bruce.
I said it. I'm doing it.
Okay, so I imagine this is happening in the gap between Fear and Jacquette and Bruce, you and Septimus.
Yep.
And I imagine you're favoring it to one side of the room so that people can get around.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so there is
Up
this
and around.
swarming sphere of tentacles that is sort of like, it's weird. It's like if you've ever seen a school of fish like sort of hopping out of the water all at once, and they're just sort of swarming in that way. There's a bunch of these tadpole oozes hopping out of the water while these tentacles are writhing around it, trying to restrain the swarm.
And then I will use my movement, and it's probably half movement, right? Because I'm,
If you're dragging Septimus.
yeah. I
Yeah,
don't wanna
because
leave him
he
by
is
himself.
half movement with his second
Yeah.
level exhaustion. Okay.
Yeah. But
So
I'm
yes,
taking
you
him
can
with
move
me.
15 feet with Septimus,
Great.
which will basically get you like around halfway around your own your
Yep,
own thing.
Okay. So there's the swarm that's in the tentacles.
Yep.
There's the swarm. Where's the other ones?
So there's 2 swarms that are finishing off your tower,
Okay.
and 1 swarm that hasn't necessarily made a move yet. It's just
Okay.
swimming in the water, basically.
All right. Well, then
Just
I'll
keep
use my
swimming,
as
just
we're walking. I will dive my hand again and pull it up and use my bonus action to bring up my usual tentacle towards the one in the water and smack down on that the
Okay.
one in the water
Go ahead and give an attack roll.
so that it doesn't continue. Okay.
Do you mean the
Go.
one that hasn't done anything yet, or the one that Fearn was fighting?
One that hasn't done anything yet.
Okay.
I don't
What'd you
think
get
it's
to
gonna hit. That's a 13.
Just misses.
That's my turn.
Okay.
There's tentacles everywhere.
Bruce, you are up. Septimus, you're on deck.
What does it look like with my path to the grate?
You have a 20-foot sphere of darkness and tentacles in front of you, and you basically just have to go around it and then 5 feet, and you'll get to the grate.
So to go
Run!
around 20 foot.
So I guess if I'm looking at let me just.
I probably don't have enough movement speed to get there, right?
Good dash, right?
Yeah, you would need to get around the whole thing, like to wrap around it. You would need to get to the grate. You would need 45 feet.
Okay. If I move, I'm going to take an attack of opportunity, correct?
You would no, because you were 5 feet away from the ooze.
You also he already.
I mean, there's a 5-foot gap between you and the ooze.
He's
Okay.
distracted by me.
Okay. Oh, he used his reaction on fear.
It did use its reaction on fear, and actually, yes, so it
Okay.
doesn't have an opportunity attack.
All right. I was hoping to get the grate open this turn. I'm gonna scream in pain, and that's gonna be my draconic cry. If there's on the one ooze that's there. And then I'm just gonna use. No, there's no point in getting there right now.
I'm sorry, I just drew it out for myself. It's a little bit closer than I said. It would be 35 feet.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm still gonna move the 30 feet,
Okay.
and I'm gonna use my brand new cantrip. I'm gonna Ray of Frost. Bruce has watched Fear enough to be like, ha!
I can make ice crystals in a ray too.
Yeah, and after Bruce does it, he looks at Fear in approval.
Fearn's just like looking the other way, not even paying attention to what Bruce is doing. He's like trying to get the grate open, like,
And what are you attacking Ray of Frost with? The ooze?
Yeah.
Nice. The one that Fearn was engaged with before?
Yes, yeah.
Excellent. Go ahead and go for the attack. Ray of Frost does a -10 movement speed, right?
Yes.
All right. If this successfully hits, this ooze will have no movement speed.
22?
That hits.
Yeah, take. Ooh. 8 damage.
Nice.
He's cold.
Very nice. All right, Bruce, anything else? So
No,
you
that's
pew this
it.
ooze, give it a middle finger, and look at the grate.
Yeah, and I screamed at it too.
Oh, yes, you yopped at it. Thank you. That's good to know. All right. Septimus.
It did take 30 damage of my to help half my health.
Septimus, you and Sass are halfway around this tentacle sphere. So you are essentially 20 feet away from the grate.
20
If you
feet.
could make it go.
Well, is the grate open? It's not open yet.
The grate is not open yet. No.
Does it look like it needs force, or is it just a?
It's hard to tell from this distance.
All right. Well, I'll use. Yeah, I'll use just my full movement, half movement, 15 feet. That keeps me 5 away. That keeps me 5 feet away. There's not really much else to go from there. So I'm like 5 feet away from the grate. And with the Veil of Darkness, can I see any of the blobs anymore that are within it? Like, is it like the darkness spell, or is that just like?
No, it's not like the darkness spell. It's just
so
it's a writhing sphere of dark tentacles, but you can still see the swarm of oozes kind of it weirdly getting bounced around amongst these tentacles.
It's in the slap box.
It's in the slap box, yeah.
All right, and there's another one you said that was not back to where the castle was or tower was.
Yeah, there's 2 that are completely distracted by the crumbling tower.
Yeah.
The one that was engaged, and then one that's just in the water right now. That's like off to the left side of the bottom left side of the cavern. So like close enough to note, like sort of detect all your movements, but it didn't engage right away like the one that Fearn was attacked by.
Can I see it?
You can see both, yes.
I'll Sacred Flame it.
Which one? The one that's the far away one or the close one?
The far away one.
Okay. Deck save, right?
Yes.
That is an 18.
God damn it. Makes sense.
Yeah, an 18. Okay. Anything else, Septimus?
Nope. But I'll do it.
Okay. It is the Arcane Amalgam's turn. It is going to take the damage.
It says it has to succeed on a dex saving throw first.
Okay. I don't think a 5 will do it.
Nope. Okay.
So go ahead and
now
roll
it's
damage.
Restrained. Yep.
Uh,
That's 8 points of bludgeoning damage.
I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, but it is a swarm of little tadpoles. It is immune to being restrained. But thankfully, it has 0 movement speed because of Jacquette and Bruce. So they are just stuck in the slap box right now. As the tentacles are slapping it around, it doesn't get a chance to move due to the lightning, frost, and tentacles all keeping it from moving. It's still affected by the difficult terrain also, even though it can't be restrained.
Okay.
But on its turn, we'll see if it gets its Wild Surge back. It does not. It can't move. And its attack range is 0 feet because it has to be on top of you to attack you. So it just swarms and gets slapped around by the tentacles because it can't actually move close enough to anyone. The other swarm is going to move closer through the water. It can't get within range of anyone, but I am going to say it does enter your amalgams or your sphere, so it will have to do a save to see if it takes the damage. It does fail, so you can roll the damage again for the second swarm.
15 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay. All right. So you have 2 swarms on your tail, everyone. That is the end of their turn. Jacquette, you are up.
This grate, does it look like it's an easy open, like free action open, or is it an action open?
This grate looks like it's an action open just because it is sort of overgrown and rusted over. It's going to take a little bit of strength to pull it out. So you can use your full action to open it if you wish.
Right. Yeah, might as well. Jacquette will use his action to open it up.
Opens up. It's small enough, or it's large enough for a medium creature to crawl through.
Okay. And how far in is it?
It immediately goes into the next chamber,
Okay, perfect.
which just
So
has a
Jacques-
short ladder down.
All right, then Jacques will enter, and then move forward.
Okay.
Uh-oh. I don't know if I should have done that.
You've entered
This is
the
like
danger
this is
zone.
like in
I don't know if
Baldur's
you should've
Gate
done
when
that
you're
either.
like you're in between two combat encounters and you're like, well, when does the next one oh, I triggered it. Oh no. Can I reload the last save?
No scum.
Look at that.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, this is
That's
honor
the
mode.
only way I know how to play.
This is honor mode.
I'm not good at this game.
Just keep running.
So, Jacques, it only took you
can't
5 feet
die
to
if
move
they
into
can't
this
catch you.
space.
Okay, poif.
You look around while you're in this space, and it is a vast chamber that looks like it's fairly above the general sewers, but you can see beyond the sort of horizon of this chamber is clearly like a large waterfall that goes down into a similar void to the last chamber while the knight was in there, where it's almost like half this room is displaced and the other half is how it normally is.
Okay.
And you also notice several writhing plants and a large, vast root system on the left side that you can see there. No sign right now of these poxed brothers that he mentioned.
Okay. From the map from Estos, where is the exit in this room?
So when you look to where Jacques would stand,
Right.
his right, you can see
Yeah.
where it's raised up. In the back there, where you can see there's the double wall, is a ladder that leads up, and you know that this leads directly to the tower.
Okay. Jacques, is it feasible for him to hide behind whatever it is in that corner there with him, like that
Definitely.
tree?
Definitely.
Alright, so he's just gonna
Those
move in-
are like those thick roots, and you do see the dull gold thorns on it, so you can hide
Okay.
carefully behind them.
All right, cool. Then Jacques will hide behind there.
Okay, go ahead and give me a stealth roll.
18.
18. Love it. Passive perceptions.
No, they don't need to be there.
Have too many tabs open. Okay. Fearn, you are up. You see
Hi.
Jacques open this up and move into the next chamber. There are 2 swarms behind you in the chamber before the one on the battle map. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna go for the grate, and I'm just gonna ignore the ladder and jump down the hole.
Okay.
What?
No.
You break your feet.
What ladder?
Oh, I'm sorry.
You said it was
I
a short one.
I lied before. There's no ladder. I forgot. I was thinking of last week's battle map. It's just you walk straight into the
Oh.
grate area. So you walk into this chamber.
Yep.
Okay.
How much movement do I have left, Sean?
It only costs you 5 feet to walk in.
Okay. These creatures all around. Like, can you describe? Like, should I just? Like,
They look like plant growths. They look like an amalgam of the roots. The ones that you can see that look like individuals on there do look corrupted by the blood membrane.
Are they moving or are they still?
They are imperceptibly moving. Like, you look really quickly and they seem like they're still, but if you watch closely, they kind of bob up and down like a avatar that is in its idle animation.
think I'm just gonna run up and attack the small one near me.
Stupid plant.
Okay, so you run up to that one immediately to the left on the battle map there.
Yes, that's the plan. I'm going to do a regular attack with my thunderous.
Before you do
or-
anything,
Okay.
so you get up close to it, and you notice that this little bushel of vines and whatnot has sort of like a mouth that you can see is like covered in this bloody ichor. And as you get up close to it, you can see with each step towards it, once you're within 5 feet of it, it starts to writhe much faster, and you can see this arm reaches out of the mouth, a humanoid arm, and then another humanoid arm reaches out, and then vines wrap around it. As you can see this
Oh, no.
this person's face, this like sickly undead looking face comes out and sort of moans as the whole thing rises out of the ground.
You activated its trap card. Oh, Mike's a
hate
big
it.
boy.
I hate it.
As it's
Oh.
going to get an attack of opportunity because you entered its territory.
That's a thing.
Yep. That's how Polearm Master works. It's also how this creature's opportunity attacks work. But luckily for you, it got a natural 1. As
Yay.
it sort of like almost like its bones, its muscles, this plant fiber is not strong enough as it brings a sword down that it pulls out from the ground, out from its own roots, and just brings it down, and it just misses you as you kind of like duck back as it comes down.
Sweet. Can I take my attack now?
Yes, you can. And just for everyone to see what these look like up close.
Ooh.
So you can
Very
see a
cool.
little guy right there.
Beautifully painted.
Well, it's just the express paints.
I'll take it. Okay, so I don't still have advantage. Do I, Stefan? From the
No,
thing
that's
you did? That was a 1-rounder?
Yeah.
Okay. But I still do have the acid damage attached to... Oh, wait.
yes, you do.
Do I?
You didn't attack use shatter before, so you still have that with your next melee
Cool.
attack.
Alright, I'm gonna go with a standard attack. No greater weapon mastery, whatever thing.
Great weapon master.
23 to hit.
23 will hit.
Okay. That is 12 bludgeoning damage. 3 thunder damage. And how much do I add for absorb elements? A d6.
D6 of acid.
Two acid damage. So
Okay.
that would be 17 damage total.
Okay. And it was 12 bludgeoning, 3 thunder, 2 acid.
Correct.
Okay. You would notice that it is resistant to the acid damage.
Okay, well, the acid damage is gone now. And I'm going to go for another attack. And this
Okay.
time I am going to use the greater weapon mastery. I think
Okay,
that's
go for
what Shannon said.
No, great weapon master.
So this is a -5 to whatever I roll. Yeah, I missed.
Okay. As you bring that first attack in, you can see it crunches into the armor. That you can see it does have this plate armor that it sort of took from the dead body that it is utilizing. And as it crunches into it, you can see it sprays out some of those fumes, and you can see some of the briars kind of weave out of it. And you are going to take 6 points of necrotic damage and 4 points of piercing damage.
Okay. That's pretty rough.
It rolled almost maximum on the dice for it. All right, Fearin, that was your turn. Sass, Bruce, and Septimus, you are up. You are the ones left in the chamber prior.
How
What would
far
you like
away
to
are
do?
we from the grate?
You
15
are
feet.
well. You are the furthest from it.
Yes,
you are
'cause
20 feet
Septimus
from it.
kept going.
Septimus
Yeah,
got
yeah, yeah.
up to it. Bruce is up
Great.
on it as well.
All right. Well, then I have 30 feet of movement, so I will, just hope that my little slap box of tentacles holds for a little longer, and I will go through the gate as well. And as I'm passing the other two and saying, "Come on, let's go, come through," and then upon entering, I will see this monstrosity that is right there. So it's time for some pew-pews.
Go for it.
All right, first one is going to 16.
Does not hit.
Frick. How many blasts do I have now? Do I still have 2? Yep, I get the next one at the next level. Okay. 17.
Does not hit.
Oh, son of a bitch. Okay.
Because they just sort
Well.
of bounce off of the briars and the old ancient plate armor.
So then I'll just scream in frustration, and I will use my bonus action to move my tentacle right here next to this fucker. And
How far can you move your tentacle?
oh, yeah, I guess I should look at that, huh?
Because it's definitely not.
Move 30 feet,
Okay, so you can basically
So it
get
can
the
be
tentacle
next to me.
to next to you. Yeah.
and it's got a 10-foot reach.
Which is not far enough.
Does it 10-foot reach? Yeah. 10 foot.
Basically,
long
get it
tentacle.
right at the opening.
All right. Well, it's there.
All right, Bruce and Septimus, you two are right at the grate. All your allies have gone inside. There are oozes behind you that are potentially in pursuit. Bruce, you're up first.
I walk inside.
Okay.
Well said.
It was a hard decision. I thought about staying and getting eaten by the leeches, but
Okay. Anything else, Bruce?
Well, I could just scream, typical Bruce move.
It's very in character.
I do yeep a little bit, not bonus action yeep, but at the sight of more plant monsters and less fun guy. I don't know. It looks like we're fighting, so yeah, I guess I'll contribute to something. I'm also low on HP, so I'm gonna start off with a nice little fray of frost. That's what I said. Yeah,
Freya Frost.
fray
Right.
of frost.
Okay.
At
On the big guy on the map.
Yeah, big guy on the map. Let's just give him a little tickle. How's a 23?
That'll hit.
All right, I'm rolling. 8 damage, 8 cold damage. And then I'm gonna follow up my turn and use a level 1 spell, Sanctuary, on thyself. That is my turn.
Okay. Septimus, what do you do?
Go through the door as well.
Well said. You are all in the next chamber now. There are several carnivorous-looking plants and one horrible plant night man. Plant night man. Night plant man. Plant man night.
Wizard pox.
Wizard pox. Plant night man.
Blizzard pox?
Wizard poxed. Is there anything else you want to do on your turn, Septimus? You have more movement speed. I believe you have 10 more movement speed, and you have your action and bonus action.
Can I close the grate behind us? But it's a grate. They're just gonna swim right through.
Do you have any means of sealing it?
Potentially. This takes too long. I'll just bonus action spiritual weapon in front of the door.
Okay. Your spiritual smithing hammer is at the door.
I'll take some
Ready.
swings.
Ready to take some swings. If you want, you can actually summon it a little bit in the next room and actually attack the creature. The swarm.
The swarm? Oh, actually, yeah, let's do that.
Go for it.
All right. Boom. 15.
Hits.
Yeah. Here we go. 9 points of radiant damage. No. Force damage.
Force damage. Nice. Excellent. So, Septimus, you look back, you summon this hammer to protect the rear, and it swings down and smashes in, sending a bunch of these creatures splooshing all over the place. And that creature definitely looks well bloodied, the swarm that is right behind you all.
Right.
Looking forward, we have Bruce, who has cast a sanctuary on himself and flung a ray of frost out. Sass has entered this space, and although she's missed, she's flung her magic out and is ready. Jacquet is in wait in his corner behind the thorned vines as Fearin is engaged with this wizard poxed knight. And that's where we're going to end tonight and pick this initiative up next week because it's almost 11. In the final chamber of the sewers before you enter the lighthouse above. Cool. Well, I'll jump back into initiative next week. Alrighty. Thank you for hanging out with us, folks, tonight. That's where we're going to call it. We will see you during the week or next week. Have a lovely evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are watching this. Good night. Goodbye.
Oh, yeah.